Good afternoon, Evo. We'll receive.
You've destroyed the Grey Wardens.
Yep, the whole organization. Gone forever.
You did that to yourself, you stupid bitch.
Why aren't you killing him when he's down? Seriously. Why are you letting this happen?
Dangle a little power before your eyes, and you couldn't wait to get your hands bloody.
Seriously, don't just sit there and let him rant. Kill his ass. You're a Grey Warden. Act like it. This whole sequence. Don't walk up to him slowly.
A new god.
I will never serve the Blight.
Well, she did. Good thing she didn't kill him. Man. I mean, she might have still been eaten by the dragon, but, you know. She's still moving. Why are we standing here watching this happen? Why are we standing here watching this? This is starting to piss me off. I'm giving that scene a negative. That is the Hollywood equivalent of because plot.
What happened?
I had pancakes, TSB. Thank you for asking.
We were falling. If this is the afterlife, the Chantry owes me an apology. This looks nothing like the Maker's bosom.
No. The Inquisitor opened another rift with the Mark. This is the Fade.
Hawk, you're a mage. You've been to the Fade.
The last time I was here.
Just say.
The first time I entered the Fade, it looked like a lovely castle filled with gold and silks.
Ooh.
I met a marvelous desire demon, as I recall. We chatted and ate grapes before he attempted to possess me. Perhaps the difference is that we are here physically. This is no one's dream.
The stories say you walked out of the Fade at Haven. Was it like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still can't remember what happened the last time I did this.
Well, whatever happened at Haven, we can't assume we're safe now. That huge demon was right on the other side of that rift Eramond was using, and there could be others.
This is shitty. I'll fight whatever you give me, boss. But nobody said nothing about getting dragged through the ass end of Demon Town.
In the real
You're
world,
welcome.
Producing the demons was nearby in the main hall. Can we return to the world through that?
Beats waiting around for demons to find us, right? There, let's go.
Remind me to give a speech when we finish this sequence, okay?
Imagine it. To walk in the Fade and survive.
We haven't survived yet.
Yeah, where's the Black City? Where's the Black City? Retcons! I'm not gonna tell you what the speech is about. It's okay, I've had it prepped for a little while now. because I knew this was coming. Nice place. Good house. Nice tea. So you're dead.
Impossible.
I greet you, Warden. And you, Champion. Divine Justinia. Most holy. Cassandra.
Cassandra, you knew the Divine. Is this really her?
I don't know.
Also a dumb
He
question.
said the souls of the dead pass through the Fade and sometimes linger, but we know the spirits lie. Be wary, Inquisitor.
It can't be the Divine. It's most likely a demon.
You think my survival impossible, yet here you stand alive in the Fade yourselves. In truth, proving my existence either way would require time we do not have.
Really? How hard is it to answer one question? I'm a human, and you are?
I am here to help you. You do not remember what happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, Inquisitor.
No, I don't.
The memories you have lost were taken by the demon that serves Corypheus. It is the nightmare you forget upon waking. It feeds off memories of fear and darkness, growing fat upon the terror. The false calling that terrified the Wardens into making such grave mistakes? Its work.
And perhaps I owe this nightmare a visit.
You will have your chance, brave Warden. This place of darkness is its lair.
Congrats, RRC. So I don't want to speak even more negatively about the game that, you know, I've already given plenty of negatives to. One of the biggest irritations in the back of my mind is that Corypheus managed to convince Nightmare into serving him, essentially. I'm not going to argue how feasible or plausible it is, because that's always going to be a judgment call. It's irritating to me because it's barely explained. Like, we're going to get a couple of lines of dialogue in a second explaining it away. Otherwise, it just is. And if you don't understand why this is substantial, Corypheus convincing Nightmare to work for him is a huge part of his plans. A decent amount of what's been going on has specifically been happening by Nightmare, not by Corypheus. And Nightmare is loyal to Corypheus, so there you go, right? It's not as bad as it could be. That would be World of Warcraft Shadowlands. But something that has always irritated me in fiction is when, I agree with that, Lord Hermon, is when someone is loyal to someone else because that's what needs to happen for the plot, and the writers don't bother to think about why that loyalty exists, or how it came into being, or why it continues to be into being, right? Loyalty is not just a one and done, right? A lot of fiction does this. Yeah, exactly, Evo. There's your one sentence. Oh yeah, this'll be great. I'm not saying it deserves a negative, it's just something that has always bothered me about this. Frankly, if I might be so bold, if we found out that Nightmare was actually the final boss of this game, and has been behind Corypheus the entire time, like all of Corypheus's tricks has just been Nightmare doing this kind of thing, this would actually work a lot better for me, I think. Like, we're a little over halfway through the game in terms of main story quest, and it's like, you know, Corypheus, the Elder One, and yes, the Venator, and all that stuff. No. It's this gigantic uber demon from the freaking Fade, who is an embodiment of fear. That kinda tracks for me, you know? Now, I know. Demons don't necessarily have the kind of mindset and intelligence to really, you know, be a fully sentient being, but Robo's tall.
Corypheus seems to have a lot of demons at his disposal. How does he command so many?
I know not how he commands his army of demons. His power may come from the Blight itself, but the Nightmare serves willingly. For Corypheus, has brought much terror to this world. He was one of the Magisters who unleashed the first blight upon the world, was he not? Every child's cry as the Archdemon circles. Every dwarf's whimper in the deep roads. The nightmare has fed well.
So there's your non-answer. I'm kind of with Lord Harrimont. So, again, it always is a judgment call, but whether or not something is believable or not kind of determines a lot of how good a job the writers have done of making it believable. The ever-important suspension of disbelief and how elastic it is, as we've talked about many times. If you told me Corypheus has managed to convince one of the oldest and most powerful demons we've ever encountered to work for him, I call bull. If you tell me that one of the oldest and most powerful demons we've ever encountered has been around long enough for droid effect to take place and has actually reached a point of intelligence and sentience, okay, I could buy that. My opinion.
Can you help us get out of the Fade?
That is why I found you. When you entered the Fade at Heaven, the demon took a part of you. Before you do anything else, you must recover it. These are your memories, Inquisitor.
Thank you, Robostall. As a reminder, you can put that towards up to 3 things, with no detriment or consequence. But I will at the very least put it towards Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'd rather you not, Czar, but if you would do me a favor and hold on to that for when we get there, I'd appreciate it. Please and thank you. Come on. Come on.
Run while you can! Warn them!
Bring forth the sacrifice.
I'll never answer you, Evo.
What's going on here?
But yes, I've already given it a positive. Even though there's no Black City in the distance.
Now is the hour of our victory.
Why are you doing this? You, of all people!
Keep the sacrifice still.
Someone, help me!
What's going on here?
So Andraste didn't bestow her mark upon you. It came from the orb Corypheus used in his ritual.
Corypheus intended to rip open the veil, use the anchor to enter the Fade, and throw open the doors of the Black City. Not for the old gods, but for himself. When you disrupted his plan, the orb bestowed the anchor upon you instead.
I wasn't even going to comment on that, sorry. Do I think he needed to sacrifice the Divine specifically? No. I actually looked that specific point up. Now, this is kind of out of character information because interviews and the like. But the idea is that Corypheus just felt the need to spit on religion and the Maker and the Chantry one last time. So he was going to specifically use the Divine to as his sacrifice, but he could use whoever. Yeah, exactly. It was like, I want to do this. It was the Voldemort thing. I want to do this to you. Of all the stupid things Corypheus does, that one works for me, because that's very in character for him. Yeah, he's extraordinarily petty.
Was that everything you wanted me to see?
For the time being. You cannot escape the lair of the nightmare until you regain all that it took from you. You have recovered some of yourself, but now it knows you are here. You must make haste. I will prepare the way ahead.
Not necessarily, Triaxia.
Is there a problem, Hawk?
I wondered if you might be concerned about the Grey Wardens holding the Divine in that vision. Their actions led to her death.
Corypheus had clearly taken the Warden's minds. You yourself have seen them do this. In any case, we can deal with that after we escape.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I intend to.
For some reason, Hawk in Inquisition just has this weird hard-on
Could that truly?
for disliking the Wardens. I don't like that. It also irritates me because it's something completely out of our hands, and that was our character. I know there's only so much they can do to interpret our character when writing it outside of our hands, although there is a way around that. But yeah, it just feels weird. It just feels kind of like, okay, and yeah, blood magic's at least blood magic makes sense, right? But Wardens? Okay. Yeah, no, exactly, RC. Now you're probably wondering what's the other way. That's easy. Allow us to also pick the character options for Hawk. Instead of having her just say, "Oh, you saw the Wardens there, right?" A little dialogue wheel pops up. Probably looks visually. If I would do it, I would make it visually look different so you could tell it's Hawk. Baldur's Gate 3 did do that, which was a great idea, by the way, if you remember. I praised it when we saw it. And have the dialogue wheel pop up, different style, different visuals. And have, you decide her opinion on these matters. Doesn't really change the quest, doesn't really change the story, but that's never been what Choice's gameplay and role-playing is all about, right? Allow us to decide the flavor of Hawk we have here, instead of having her just kind of defaulting, would actually be really easy to implement. The biggest difficulty would be you have to write a few additional lines, and you would have to have a little bit more voice acting because there's more lines being told. But that's a relatively minor and easily accomplishable task to allow us to decide the flavor of a previously existing PC. And I bring this up because you remember my big idea for having, Hawk be in Inquisition from the beginning? Well, when both PCs are active, if I was doing it correctly, what I would do is you start off playing as one PC, right? And then you get like a dialogue option for the other PC. Just one. And then later on you get another one, and then another one. And bit by bit you start to see more and more and more of both dialogue wheels popping up in scenes that both PCs are in. Then finally one of those PCs dies or leaves the narrative some other way, and then that leaves us with just the second PC. And so there's kind of a metaphorical passing of the dialogue wheel as we're going through it. But anyways,
You've been the most holy.
Well, I have no idea. If it's a spirit, it's not acting like one. No demon would have been so helpful without asking something in return.
That's great and all, but the nightmare is the thing currently scaring the shit out of me.
Demon that feeds on fear. Despicable. Even for a beast of the Fade. After its corruption of the Wardens, I'll see it pay.
also an idea, Blade Duval. Lord Hermont's right, though. We do need our fake drama. Oh, wait, I don't need the loot. I don't need the loot. I'm level 20-something. I haven't even chosen ability points because they're so irrelevant to me at this point. Who needs loot? I've never been so happy to not have to loot in my life. That's not true. Yeah, so the other thing we talked about...
We have a visitor.
Hi, Nightmare.
Some foolish little boy comes to steal the fear I kindly lifted from his shoulders. You should have thanked me and left your fear where it lay, forgotten. You think that pain will make you stronger. What fool filled your mind with such drivel? The only one who grows stronger from your fears is me. But you are a guest here in my home, so by all means let me return what you have forgotten.
Fear's probably going to be a positive, by the way. Nightmare, excuse me. Yeah, his voice...
Nightmare wasn't such hot shit after all.
Surely these are but the Nightmare's minions.
Just let me have this moment to hope, alright?
Thank you, Scott K. Barr. I will put that towards Dragon Quest V. And 4, I think. I'll put it towards 4 as well. And 6. Let's do that. Does that sound good? That sounds good. Okay. Thank you for the sub, as always. I love Nightmare's voice acting. Just love it. I'm giving him his own positive. He is, I mean, he's got the deep voice bass thing, but it actually has speaking as a voice director and a sound designer, he has very little modulation on his voice. Most of it's just the actor. And the manner in which he speaks is very specific. You'll notice that he is very precise in how he talks. Almost every word is very carefully enunciated, and every single one of them is bitten off, but not in a way that implies anger, more finality. Everything he says is simply conclusory, and it's great. Wonderful job by the actor. Yeah, go ahead, Lord Harriman. What does Nightmare say to Solus? And Sarah, and everyone else. Why not? Let's do it. Okay, hang on. It's so irritating to read these. Interesting, Lord Harriman. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud, because this is... Blackwell's greatest fear. Himself! Yeah. Cole, despair? Yeah. Sarah, nothingness? Uh-huh. Solus? Varric, becoming his parents? Ooh. And Vivienne, irrelevance. Yeah, that makes sense. Master unveiled a new altar. It stands higher than a man, like a great statue, and great spikes jut out from its lengthy, hungry for blood. Master calls it the Claws of Dumat, and says that the altar will help bring Tevinter to glory. I praised it, as was expected, and Master smiled. It was good of him to see him smile again. He has been fearful of late, vexed by the loss of followers. He has met with the other priests, and in secret I have heard them discussing ways to return the people of Tevinter to the ways of the old god, as is just. He spoke to me later that day, and asked that I call him Corypheus, as that was the name he would now take for himself after this ritual. Master, now Corypheus, told me that my people, the elves of old, were tied to the Fade, and that in order to carry out the will of Dumat, he would need to call upon the magic that lived in our blood. Corypheus told me to gather all of the elven servants and bring them to the western hall of our home at midnight. That is the hall where the Claw of Dumat is now kept. There are shackles across the top of the great altar, and pools lined with runes beneath the claws. I have sent my wife and children away, but I have not warned the others. A few I may save, but if I tried to save us all, we would only be killed in some other way, and others would die in our place. The Master once laughed and joked. He could be stern, but he was not a cruel man. The weakening of the temples brought fear to his heart, and that fear changed him. The cuts on his arms are deeper and longer where he used blood magic more often. He speaks to his wife little. He listens only to the voice in his dreams. It's almost midnight. The Claw of Dumat, great and spiked and merciless, is all my mind can see. I must gather the others. My family is safe. Corypheus will take me, but not those I loved. Also, did you catch the implication there that Nightmare was behind the original intention to penetrate the Fade? At least indirectly. I like Alistair's. That's a good one. Yeah, Nightmare's been around for a minute. Like I said, I could buy it if he actually was sentient sapient. I watched the blight take my land. I had nowhere to go. I tended the fields as I had, even as my flock died and my family sickened. My body racked by pain and chill. I saw too late the poison that had crept into the land. In my fevered dreams, the sickness covered the whole world, and I wept in fear for the family I killed with foolish pride. Show me that this world survives. Show me poison does not take everything. And, as is tradition, we gain permanent stat ups in the Fade. Hate that sound. No comment.
What are those things?
Corruption. War. I know what I fear. But what do you fear? Oh, sorry. I've heard worse than that from Morgan. That's funny.
What's this?
They think they own us. They think they decide whether we live or die. They sit there all smug in their armor, ready to cuff our heads for the slightest transgression. As though we don't strive every day to stay sane, to keep the demons away. They can't control us any longer. I won't go back to the circle, not ever. Thought about it last night, being back in the tower, their eyes on me. It all came back. All the years. Head down, don't clench your fingers, be a good mage, be a quiet mage. I realized I don't want to make peace with the Templar. I want them to burn. I want it so badly that the bed caught fire and wouldn't go out until Yvain iced it over. It's still there inside me. I want them to feel the fear they made me feel. I want them to know what it's like. We're leaving for the Conclave in a few hours. If those bastards so much as blink the wrong way, I'll let them know what an apostate looks like. I'll say, we'll hear low gains in a minute. Another one of these things. Hey, Sputnik Lock. Thank you, as always. As a reminder, you can put that towards up to 3
Kunari
things.
will make a lovely host for one of my minions. Or maybe I will ride his body myself.
I'd like to see you try.
Or guy. As a reminder, Sputnik Lock, you can put that towards up to 3 things under the plural voting system. If you don't have 3 to pick, might I suggest Starfield while we're there? Oh no. The Iron Bull is absolutely goddamn terrified. Which makes sense. If I can explain this very, very badly, the Kunari are generally more knowledgeable about how the world works than most other people are. And sometimes when you know more about how something works, you're more afraid of it. That's all. Just gonna leave that sitting there.
Perhaps I should be afraid, facing the most powerful members of the Inquisition. Greetings, Dorian. It is Dorian, isn't it? For a moment I mistook you for your father.
Rather uncalled for.
Well, then I will have to elaborate, apparently, Evo. So let's say that you know a lot about physics and quantum mechanics and how the world works, okay? And then you encounter a dream mage, which I'm not going to elaborate on because you don't know what it means. They just do things. You don't know how, you don't know why, you can't explain it. That's strange. And you can see some of the effects of that but you cannot properly process it because you do not understand it.
Did you think you mattered, Hawk? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Isabella is going to die, just like your family and everyone you ever cared about.
Well, that's going to grow tiresome quickly.
I went to Tevinter when I was a child. I remember dragon statues everywhere, big ones. I shivered as I walked between them, afraid they were going to bite me or breathe fire. My parents hushed me and told me the Magisters liked the dragons as a sign of their power. Dragons are beasts. Mindless, terrible. The archdemon that comes with each blight is an offense to the Maker. We all know these things, but the Magisters don't care. And it's the same with the mages. So much danger, so much power in the hands not ready for it, and the mages only wish to celebrate themselves. The Magisters are what the mages of Ferelden and Orlais want to be, our rulers, holding us in terror so that we may wonder if it will bite as we walk by them. I joined the Templars to keep such mages under control. I have killed many since the rebellion we all saw coming, and now the Divine wishes us to meet them at the Conclave and make peace. I will go, and I will smile, but if the dragon statue looks ready to bite, I will strike first. I am not a child, and I will not be afraid. Here are mages. So you can't see them because they're spiders, but each one of these is named something different because each one of these are fearlings.
I would wager. Scavenging whatever the nightmare leaves behind.
Get that.
And of course, they look like giant spiders.
You saw spiders? Spiders would have been a massive improvement from what I saw.
Of course. The demons look different to each of us. Personalized little terrors.
Well, now I feel better.
So, here's the final thing here. This I will give the developers full credit for. When you have limited time, availability, and resources, you have to learn how to use what you have available. They already have spider models, so they reuse the spider models. Now that's reuse of assets, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Instead, the implication here is that either the Inquisitor or the player has a fear of spiders, and thus they present themselves as spiders. It's a nice little way to kind of try and walk around and explain the asset reuse. So, credit where credit is due. You are too young to worry, my child. Write your worries down here. All your fears are smaller once you've defined them. What if the Darkspawn come back? Father said one day he'll die. Darkspawn underground, Darkspawn under our house, Darkspawn coming from the basement. The sun will die. Looking at you, Evo. Black bits on bread could be blight. Getting sick and dying from blight. Grey Wardens coming to make Father go back. Father dying fighting Darkspawn. Dark patch on Father's arm that he hides from Mother. Father says he hears music. Yeah, spiders are one of those what we call primal fears, along with falling. And darkness, I believe, is one of the other big ones. Stuff that's kind of a biological survival mechanism fear. I shouldn't say most. Most people have at least one of the primal fears. That means he's had his calling, like Mono. And Loghain's just walking up the wall now. Man, I want to get out of here too, Loghain.
The nightmare is closer now. It knows you seek escape. With each moment, it grows stronger. There is not much time, Inquisitor.
And yet, and the greatest meta-commentary of all, I have defeated my fear by removing the spiders from the game. Check and mate.
So, can you tell me what you are?
I told you. I am helping you.
Yes, but are you her? Or some kind of Fade remnant of her? Or a spirit imitating her?
Our world is never that simple. What if the answer is none of those things? Or all of them? I am what the Maker made me. The question is, are you what the Maker made you, Inquisitor?
I was meant to become the Inquisitor.
But what is the Inquisitor, and how will it change the world? You believe in your purpose, and that is good. That is your power.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you?
I am what you see. All other answers rest in you.
Tell me why you're here. Why take part in this?
After heaven, I hid here. I watched quietly, learned what I could, and searched for some way to help. And then you came.
I don't know what that means.
Corypheus and the Nightmare do an injustice to the world. You must stop them. Perhaps you were meant to stop them. Perhaps that is why I am here.
You must know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
As must you. The answer lies in your memories, lost to the Nightmare when you last walked the Fade.
Or you could just tell me.
Would you trust my words? Trust what you have seen.
What can you tell me about this mark on my hand?
You already know how the mark came to be upon your hand. As for what it is the needle that pulls the thread, as well as the key.
I don't understand.
It is the needle that passes through the veil, as little else can. You are the thread, and it is the key that locks or unlocks the door to the Fade. It lets you walk in the Fade physically, and survive. Without it, Corypheus must find another way to the Black City. It is part of you now, and cannot be removed without your death.
So all of this is just a dream? Part of the Fade?
It is not just a dream. The minds of mankind are made real here. Their hopes, their loves, and their fears. What changes their world also changes this one. And yours are footsteps that move mountains in both. Tread carefully, Inquisitor. This ground is more treacherous than you know.
I'd like to know more about the Nightmare.
It is not simply fear. It is the terror you cannot remember, the horror your mind erases to protect you. When old memories no longer make the veteran soldier's hand tremble, it is because the Nightmare has taken them. Most people avoid their fears. It is simple for the demon to steal the darkest fragments. They forget, and it feeds. Corypheus has helped it grow monstrous.
It makes people forget the worst parts of their fears. It almost sounds like the Nightmare is helping people.
Perhaps it was once. But now, it helps none but Corypheus. By his hand, it creates more fear and grows even stronger. In any case, robbing people of their fears is never a kindness. At best, it is a mistake born of compassion. Without fear and pain and failure, we cannot learn. We cannot grow, as you cannot grow until you recover all that was taken from you.
That's a friggin' lowly caraway noise.
We should keep moving.
To be very, very clear, it would not surprise me if, under the right circumstances, Cole could become like the Nightmare. Like, zero doubt. So I had to look up the specifics. To be clear, I don't necessarily agree with this, but because psychology is still a developing field, and we don't know everything about how human beings work, but the idea is there's the 5 primal fears, right? Extinction, mutilation, loss of autonomy, separation, and ego death, okay? Their words, not mine. And you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with spiders? Spiders actually fall under mutilation, specifically. In fact, spiders, snakes, and general bugs or creeping things almost always fall under mutilation. Come on.
Keep running!
Okay. Lovely lore in here. That's my favorite cutscene in the entire game. Ah! You know, you say that, Lord Harriman. Loss of autonomy is a big one. I myself have that one. Imprisonment is under there, being paralyzed, being ill, being immobilized. I actually have a form of claustrophobia. I've actually told people that before. It's pretty mild. But, like, this nice, big, open room, I know you can't see it, but I have tons of space around me in all directions except for right here. And that's a comfort to me. It's like it's hard to even explain, but I know some of you understand it. It's just like a calming thing in the back of my mind, right? I know that I'm in a nice, big, open space, and it relaxes me. Same thing about being someplace that's clean. If I'm someplace that's nice and neat and tidy, that is also kind of a relaxing thing for me, right? Yeah, Alzheimer's, which can go directly to hell, that would be another loss of autonomy thing. Separation is kind of more social stuff. That's easy. Ego death, that's a little bit different. That's kind of fully internalized. Mutilation is obvious, and extinction is just straight up death, which is, you know, whatever that is going to be. But the point is, these are usually then considered to be branched out amongst the greater category of primal fears, which would be the dark, heights, blood, enclosed spaces, fire, snakes, spiders, evil people, like people who are psychopathic or sociopathic, loud sounds, pain, death, unexplainable, it's not a great way to put it, humiliation, loneliness, and emptiness. Now, how much of that is valid and not is more a matter for debate than a matter of fact. But I bring all that up because when it comes to fiction and writing, if you decide to make something that's a major embodiment of fear when you don't know the target... So let me explain this differently. We know Cassandra's fear because we wrote Cassandra, right? Public speaking would be humiliation. That's the... Or segregation, one of the two, depending. But either way, it's part of the social aspect. You know, humiliation. I'm right. I closed the page, but I'm pretty sure it was under humiliation. When you're writing for Cassandra, you know that character, at least if you've done your job properly. So you know what she's afraid of. Boom, no problems. But how do you determine what the player's afraid of, or what the player character's afraid of? And the answer is, of course, you can't. So what writers tend to do is they tend to pull from one of those so-called primal fears, and here we are with spiders. Now, spiders, they could have done a lot of other things with this, as we just emphasized. There's plenty of directions they could go with this. But they went with spiders because they already have a spider model. And this ties us all the way back to the beginning of asset reuse. Because even though they could have done whatever, spiders saved them time and effort.
The demons!
It's funny that there are several examples of good team management in this game, considering how many examples there are of bad team management in this game. I would have to think about that, Lord Harriman. That's a good question. I would have to think about that. It is, Mizuno, you're right. The mage attack, auto attack is pretty much copy-paste from Dragon Age 2's. I joined the Wardens to serve in glory. No blade could touch me, nor claw pierce my armor. Still, I was fated by the joining to die. Alone in the deep roads, the calling in my mind, I sat by the last campfire I would ever see, allowing myself one last night of terror, and cursed the fate that brought me here. Let it be my choice to have served and died. Let it be nobility rather than the dread hand of fate. Destroy my destiny and let this be my decision. I decide when I die, not you.
Breach back in Haven. That's how I escaped.
And there's the glowing woman from the intro.
The demons!
Keep running!
Ah!
was you. They thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade. It was the Divine behind me. And then you... she died.
Yes.
We've been following a demon, then.
You don't say.
I am sorry if I disappoint you.
Are you a memory of the Divine? A reflection?
If that is the story you wish to tell, it is not a bad one.
What we do know is that the mortal divine perished at the temple, thanks to the Grey Wardens.
Corypheus controlled them.
Fuck.
We've discussed this already. This spirit has no further revelations. We should work on getting back to Adamant alive.
Assuming that the Wardens and their demon army didn't destroy the Inquisition while we were
Fuck.
gone.
I see. Atrocities are your purview alone. You tore Kirkwall apart and started the Mage Rebellion.
To protect innocent mages, not madmen drunk on blood magic. But you'd ignore that, because you can't imagine a world without the Wardens, even if that's what we need.
The
What?
are a risk. Send them away before they cause even more trouble.
Don't know that we can pass judgment on the only folks who know how to stop blights.
Yeah, thank you.
Still be useful. What if Corypheus conjures another blight? You never know.
No, Hawk, you're an idiot.
Loghain isn't defending blood magic or demons. You know the cost of a blight as well as any of us, Hawk. The Grey Wardens are the only force that can stop that.
Inquisitor.
Oh no, here they come.
The nightmare has found us.
Form up!
I'm with you.
So there's blood magic, fear of blood magic. Remind me why I had such an incorrect opinion there. By the way, corpses, possession. There's another one there.
I suppose we should follow the Divine. Whatever she is our way out of here.
I mean, granted, I'm a moron. And I'll admit that 10 times out of 10, but why in God's name would Hawk have such a hard-on?
Tyrn Logan McTeer, the brilliant commander. Pity the one time you tried to rule, you failed so miserably. You had to be beaten, humiliated, lest you destroy your own country. You even doom the Wardens by bringing the Inquisitor down on them. You destroy everything you touch.
Is that all you've got? It's nothing I've not said to myself.
No, I know, Papanix, but that's kind of the problem, isn't it? It's fake drama. We have a category for this. It's fake drama. Yeah, our sister and brother can both be a Grey Warden here. Which I believe means that... hang on, so that's like... 1/3, I think, of the total options that can exist here involves their currently alive sibling being a Grey Warden. So... Huh? Also, I love Loghain just kind of completely dismissing Nightmare here. Because... that makes sense. Loghain is old and embittered and experienced enough to be able to look at this kind of thing in the face. Which I mention because that says a lot about the Iron Bull, who is goddamn terrified about this. I don't want to get too much into that, but I've always felt that the Iron Bull is a little bit less certain than he presents himself to be. Let's put it that way. In fact, I'm going to use an analogy that's going to piss off some of my viewers. Sorry. The Iron Bull reminds me of Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony. If you happen to have seen my streaminations on that, you know exactly why. Right? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Do you think you can fight me? I am your every fear come to life. I am the veiled hand of Corypheus himself. The demon army you fear, I command it. They are bound all through me.
Ah, so if we banish you, we banish the demons. Thank you. Every fear come to life.
Sorry. No, it does, Loner. You're right. It makes sense even in gameplay that he's the Rainbow Dash. Like, if I was designing an MLP game, Rainbow Dash would absolutely be the DPS. Very low health, very low stamina, but she will just burst whatever in the face. Bam, dead. Oh, let's see. Sickness. Senility. Looks like that's it for the moment. Yeah, Morgan was raised by Flemeth. I think this would be old hat for her. It is simple to say the laws of nature do not apply in the Fade. But while traveling in the Fade is often confusing for mages, it is rarely so chaotic as to defy description. In fact, while the placement of items may seem random, those items operate as one would expect them to in the real world. A book opens to show pages, though the pages may be blank or lined with gibberish. A pen or inkwell let the user write, although the pen may write on its own, and the inkwell never runs dry. Those items that float usually hover at the relative height where they would have sat had objects meant to support them existed. Candles suspended in air as though held by a candlestick, for example. Why are the laws of the Maker bent but not broken? Why does a book not turn into a dragon or a statue explode into shards of energy? The answer, I believe, is a huge spoiler, but what they say in this thing is, I believe, lies in the fact that the items we see in the Fade were often made by the hands of men. A statue is a created thing. Mortal hands shaped it and gave it purpose, and it knows what it is meant to do. The objects that strain against the laws of nature are ironically those that are more natural. Great stones hang in the sky, no hand ever touched, no mortal mind shaped. I suspect, though we may never know, that if dwarves ever dreamt and shaped the Fade with their perception, those rocks would not float. No, I agree, Kira White Noise. So, I have not Papa Nix. That sounds hilarious. So, Kira White Nose is absolutely correct here. The problem is what they're trying to do is they're trying to do, like, the Grey Wardens versus, like, not the Grey Wardens as some kind of big dramatic choice. They're trying to build up to a choice. And they're doing a really piss-poor job of it, to say that as bluntly as I possibly can. They wanted there to be a perspective character to voice the opinion that the player may or may not agree with, which is, put simply, anti-Warden. Hawk is one of the dumbest possible picks for that. In fact, it's so dumb of a pick that the more I think about it, the more I feel like this is something that happened because of circumstance and condensed storylines. They knew they wanted Hawk to be in Dragon Age Inquisition because they'd probably already done work on that for the idea of the Exalted March DLC, which eventually got baked into this, right? They already did production work for that. We know that. So they wanted Hawk here, and they needed someone to be the anti-Warden mouthpiece, and they had to acknowledge choices leading up to this. So given that Loghain can be 3 separate people, whereas Hawk can only be Hawk, Hawk has to then be the anti-Warden person. It makes sense, even though it makes no sense, if that tracks.
Water. Trying to prey on my deep fear of having wet calves.
God, listen to him. credit to the Iron Bull's voice actor. He's probably our standout voice actor for this particular game. Because he's really good at it. Exactly, Arcano. It makes sense developer-wise. It does not make sense story-wise. It can be Loghain, Stroud, or Alistair, I believe is the 3. All Grey Wardens, you'll notice. Which is why they cannot have the anti-Grey Warden picture. It is unclear whether the water here is a manifestation of the Fade or physical water that's poured in through the rifts. Possibly the rift in Crestwood. Yeah, there's a thought. I mean, maybe Shadow Machine. He's been knocking it out of the park in this one. I think half the reason I like the Iron Bull is because of his actor. When the Darkspawn were new, when the Magisters had just brought them to our world with their sin, I was among the first to call myself a Grey Warden and swear to end the blight that threatened our world. We had seen the Archdemon die from mortal blows, only to rise again from the body of one of its servants. It could not die. I searched in vain for some way to kill the beast and save my world. I slept in fear with no solution, knowing that only the blight the Magisters had brought would destroy everything because I could not save it. Show me what must be done to slay the Archdemon. Show me what I need to save my world. Now that is an interesting bit of implication. Now, it's pure implication, and who the hell knows, but wouldn't it be interesting if the first, the taint, the joining, came from Nightmare? I like that idea, Lord Harrimont. It makes a lot more sense for Solus to be anti-Grey Warden, especially considering. And him being here actually works for several other reasons, too. This is not a place of honor. Here came beasts from the north, carrying a poison called the Blight. They killed many warriors and sickened the land, and even their blood could kill. We feared them, and it was right. We were strong, but they still came to feed on our screams. These stones hold the screams of the Alamari. Wherever the spawns of darkness have come, these stones were raised so the beasts might take the bounty of fear and depart. If they did not, every man would put his screams into the stone until none were left inside him. He would then light the fire to burn the screams away and take up the sword and shield to fight until death came. When all the men were dead and the women did the same, whether it was tradition of tribe or not, and then it would be the children, even if all they held were fire pit sticks. Remember our warning. Give the stone your screams and burn them, so they cannot master you, and fight. Here's a random thought. The Darkspawn aren't really vampiric in the way that some other creatures and you know, global threats tend to be. But picture a setting in which the Darkspawn have completely overrun the world. Maybe it's just me, but I think they would kind of die. Like there would be so much tainted everything everywhere. They would just kind of die out. Literally. Starving to death kind of a situation. Everyone's a vampire kind of a situation, right? They might turn on each other, but ultimately that would boil down to the same problem, wouldn't it? A dead world. Great Horizon Zero Dawn, isn't it? No spoilers. Cole, despair. Solus, dying alone. Sarah, the nothing. Cassandra, helplessness. Blackwall, himself. Varric became his parents. Iron Bull, madness. Vivienne, irrelevance. The cannibalistic army, yeah? Yeah.
Look!
Sorry, despite my rushed movement, I've been trying very hard to make sure I don't miss anything in here. This is a great sequence. There's the Maker. Someone's fear is the Maker. There's a despair demon. Very true. Both to Evo and to Kira White Noise. Here's a fun follow-up comment, I suppose. Imagine for a moment that the fear of the Maker is from one of the actual devotees of the church. Afraid if the Maker exists, or afraid if the Maker does not exist. Either way, it is fear of the Maker. That's the really funny thing. If the Maker really does exist, or really does not exist, ironically, both are bad. If the Maker exists, it opens up a whole lot of questions, Trihexia. Not the least of which being, what has he been doing, and why, for how long?
We are victorious once more.
I've given my opinion on what the Maker could or should be, if the Maker does exist, and none of those would be a good thing if they are, in fact, real. What? What? There's nothing here. I already looked. There's just loot. There's just... I guess I didn't go up here. Hang on, let's go up here. No, no, this is just going back now, isn't it? Yeah, where are we? Oh, alright. Yeah, why does the Blight exist?
But that's a big one.
In a hypothetical rewrite, I still haven't decided if I would make the Maker a real thing or not. Whatever it actually is. The only thing I know is I wouldn't make the Maker a god. Either something that's been misinterpreted or something that was deliberately misinterpreted. Or a lot of other possible options there. But I wouldn't make the Maker a deity. Haven is burned. Mama cries when I'm not looking. It's cold in the mountains and my feet hurt, but Mama says to shush so others have it, because others have it worse. She says a monster named Corypheus came to Haven. It was only the Maker's blessing that let us escape. I don't feel blessed. The monsters come every night when I sleep, and I don't want to wake Mama crying again. Well, we're gonna pretend we never read that. Yep, we're moving on. Bye! Done with this forever, bye. I made the expected offerings this morning, but the gods remained silent. The priests are frightened. All of Tevinter is frightened. Our gods have led our people for centuries, and now they've gone still. Are we alone in this world? No better than the savages to the south who beg for guidance from spirits? And what of those strange creatures who come from the underground, like our friends, the dwarves? They carry the spawn of darkness and plague. Why do our gods not protect us from this? Now the ground shakes. The statue cuts my hand as I fall against it. A great roar sounds. It is massive, shaking the temple market, and I see a silhouette cut the sky. It's a dragon. No, it's Dumat! I've made the offering so many times, his form is familiar as my own. Hand. He has returned in glory to destroy these darkspawn that threatened us, to lead to Tevinter back to an age of glory and wonder. But no. His scales are sickly and molted, his form twisted and corrupt, like the darkspawn themselves. He opens his great maw and fire billows forth, igniting the market. The flames rush towards me. What did we do wrong? Yeah, there's an old one for you. A very, very old one. Be not afraid. there's an interesting idea. A spirit as old as the nightmare and just as powerful and influential by virtue of sheer age and momentum. Yeah, no, yeah, I get you, Evo. What? Uh-huh. Okay. I don't remember this puzzle either, to be completely honest with you. It just gave me some random loot, too. Well, whatever. I mean, you know how spirits are, though, right? I am command.
You must get through the rift, Inquisitor. Get through, and then slam it closed with all your strength. That will banish the army of demons and exile this cursed creature to the farthest reaches of the Fade.
Could you go slightly faster, please?
The rift! We're almost there!
So there's the nightmare.
Don't say it like that. That guarantees another demon is gonna show up.
So I should mention, there's actually a separate part of this mod that allows you to turn off the nightmare, but the nightmare never bothered me, so I didn't do that, and I thought it'd be weird to not have him be visible. But on the off chance that you are bothered by giant, weird crab monster things, this is your don't look warning, okay? So yeah, there's the nightmare. Okay, so hang on. Let's rewind a bit here. There we go.
If you would, please tell Liliana. I am sorry. I failed you too.
I grow fat on your fear.
Die, demon!
You will die in agony.
Drowning. Blood. Apostates. The calling.
You are nothing.
We're almost there!
Corruption. this. Yeah, Malfurion, could you help out, buddy? Not that you're that good at that, anyways.
You cannot stand against me.
There we go. Look, it's just a science spider thing. We're fine.
Go! I'll cover you.
No, you were right. The Warden's made this mistake. A Warden must...
A warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine.
Big choice time. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. Okay, this choice sucks. It's worth noting, and I've already mentioned this, one of the ideas that was being tossed around originally was this was a choice between Hawk and the Warden. I'm not sure that would be better. The problem here is this choice doesn't have any of the impact it really should. For all of the aggravation I spit at the Caden versus Ashley choice back in Mass Effect 1, that at least made sense, right? There was logic and a build-up, and there was reason behind why it could happen. But here, it's just like, oh god, one of you must die. What? That's... Why? Well, because one of them must die. Hold on, hang on, I've got a few questions. Choose, huh? And then, here's the other problem. It's Hawk or Loghain, but imagine if it's Hawk or Alistair. Or Hawk or Stroud. The dynamic of this choice gets worse, as weird as it may sound, because you can choose who the other person is twice. And while we're on the subject, this doesn't... Yeah, everyone's going to choose Stroud, right? Because the problem is this choice isn't really a choice for the Inquisitor, it's a choice for the player. So how many people care about Hawk versus Loghain? Or Hawk versus Alistair, for example, right? It's kind of weird the way they present this and phrase this and construct this, and so I'm going to give this a negative. But here's the question I have for you. Is this a negative to story or gameplay? Real question. Dramatic music. In the interest of fairness, I suppose it technically is both, if we want to swing that way with it, because I've kind of already given a negative to story for this. Fake drama, which I stand behind. So, as much as I don't want to give a 73rd negative to gameplay, yeah, it's a choice that comes out of nowhere, and feels like the opposite of what this kind of choice should be. And once again, this is one of those things that feels like it was just kind of rushed. Like, I know I explained this so badly, so please forgive me. Imagine if you sit down and you're writing down the outline of a story, which for me is the second step of writing any story. And when I mean the second step, I mean second total. Like, the very first stuff is the conceptual stuff, then we move on to the outline. It's one of the earliest steps in the whole story. And so, dive with me back to that moment. So you're in the conceptual phase, and you want to have big moments and big choices, and then you hit the outline phase, and you're like, okay, you're going to end up going to the Fade with Hawk, and someone else, we're not sure who yet, we'll figure that out. Maybe not even Hawk, just two party members, and you have to leave one of those party members behind as a big choice thing. Okay, cool. And then you move on from that, and then later on you spend time and effort and time and effort and time and effort trying to, you know, flesh out the specifics of that moment. The reason I bring that up is because this feels like they never had the time and the effort in order to continue fleshing out this point. Instead, it's just, oh, right, yeah, you have to choose between party members. And as we already talked about, other unrelated things determined the party members in question. But there's no real logic behind this being Hawk or insert Warden here. Not really. It only makes sense from a developer perspective. No, you don't, Evo. Whap! Whap! No, exactly, Blade Travel. That's the point I'm trying to make in my own slow and awful way. This feels like a moment that could have worked, and doesn't. Anyways, here you go, Logain.
Logain. Fight well. You will not die while I draw breath.
Agreed, Crofty.
For the Warden!
Extremely necessary sacrifice here. That would be an awesome idea, Lord Harriman. Make the Nightmare a super optional. Maybe not even here. Yeah, it's a non-choice. That's the problem. It has no reason to be a choice.
She was right. Without the Nightmare to control them, the mages are free and Corypheus loses his demon army. Though as far as they're all concerned, the Inquisitor broke the spell with the blessing of the Maker.
Yeah, no.
Once they understand what really happened,
They'll be terrified. I, for one, am tired of giving fear demons anything to feed on. Let them have their story.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venator
Why?
Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clarel's tragic mistake.
Which we have no part of course. You know what?
Warden Logain is dead. Thanks to all of you. He alone stood against Clarel's madness. If not for him, you'd be dead. Or slaves to a servant of the Blight. And you repaid that by branding him a traitor.
Inquisitor, we have no one left of any significant rank.
Call me wrong. Call me wrong.
You stay and do whatever you can to help.
Solus greatly disapproves.
The Wardens were a force for good. I'm willing to give the rest of you one final chance to prove it. You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori, but there are plenty of demons that need killing.
After all that, you give them yet another chance?
While they do that, I'll inform the Wardens at Weishaupt what's happened. Best they not get caught off guard.
And Hawk has just left the game.
We will not fail you.
Bye, Hawk.
Good luck with your Inquisition. Try not to start an exalted march on anything.
Wah,
Take care
wah.
of Varric for me.
Cool. Sarah makes sense to me. Wardens being around is good for business, you know what I mean?
Hawk sent me one final report. She's on her way to Weishaupt. As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori. You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
The Grey Wardens carry respect in other nations. If we spread the word that the Inquisition has their support...
We may gain standing with nations that have suffered under the Blight. I will take the matter to Josephine. You took an army from Corypheus, but that will matter little if Orlais falls into chaos. All arrangements have been made for the ball in Halam Shiral. Let us know when you are ready to proceed.
Now, here's the deal. We don't have the legal right to banish the Wardens, but we have the might to do that at this point. The Inquisition has become its own kingdom with its own infrastructure and power and network and connections, and, well, we're a fairly large player on the board right now, all things considered. This is something that real-life history has plenty of examples of, where, you know, a specific nation which arguably does not have the backing or authority or whatever can just say, no, do this. And everyone else just kind of has to go along with it, right? Now, I'm not saying I disagree with you, RRC, because that's just a weird choice out of absolutely nowhere. I'm just saying, if we had something a little bit more than some random commentary in the middle of, like, having just escaped from the freaking nightmare realm, sure, you know? Anyways, moving on with the MSQ.
Where can I find the Empress?
She's holding a grand masquerade ball at her winter palace in Halam Shiral. Your invitation has been arranged. That is where the Venatori will strike. Speak with us when you are ready.
Yeah, gunboat diplomacy. Or
like? Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
You seemed calm, serene even, and she guided us the whole way through.
That does sound like her.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, I'm sorry. I failed you too.
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further. Thank you.
yeah, no, Halam Shiral just kind of comes out of nowhere. Not that I mind, it's by memory one of my favorite sequences of the game. Which reminds me, I now have to give you a speech. But I don't know. The Warden thing, like you say, has some buildup, and the Halam Shiral has like, oh yeah, by the way, they're going to assassinate the Empress. Huh? Like I mentioned earlier, Gaspar has had 2 side mentions during the open world optional crap. Like, we don't even... it's possible to completely skip the fact that there is a civil war going on right now in Orlais, because you don't even have to go to that zone, you know? Not yet, Papanix, no. I said I'd give you a speech. That speech is 4 7 minutes ago. I went on a most excellent adventure. So, one of the things I find most interesting when it comes to reviews specifically is the inconsistent accuracy of my memories on the matter. I remember the Fade sequence we just went through pretty fondly, all things considered. So then, of course, now we go through it. How did it hold up? Well, there were actually some really good parts, to the point where I think I gave it 2 positives to story. Yep. But I also gave it a negative to story and a negative to gameplay, and the lead up to it was pretty bad, to the point where I gave that like 3 or 4 negatives. I bring all this up because it's always interesting to me to see that inconsistency. And I've started getting more and more into the habit when it comes to these, you know, re-reviewing games or audit-reviewing games, or reviewing a game I've played, to not try and say, now here's a good sequence, right before we get into it. Because maybe it isn't. By contrast, I try not to say, here's a bad sequence before we get into it. And I've been trying to do that. I haven't succeeded fully, because I kept talking about Act 3 in Dragon Age 2 before we got there. In my defense, I was pretty sure about that one. But in general, I've been trying to avoid that preface thing, because going through with analysis mode is always just a little bit different. And it was just kind of on my mind because, was it last night or the night before? I think it was the night before. I was running around until 2:30 in the morning just doing stupid optional crap while I had YouTube up on the side, right? I was watching Inquisition Incorporated, I already told you that. And I had the thought in the back of my mind, oh, this isn't so bad. And that thought kind of spiraled out for a bit, because I realized that the only reason that I thought it wasn't so bad was because I wasn't paying attention to the content, because it was long and boring and padding and stupid. And, I had something entertaining to do while I was wasting my time getting to the good part. Which means, when you think about it, it makes sense why you would then remember the game as a whole positively. Because you don't really remember the parts you're not paying attention to, right? You're just trying to remember the good parts that you were working towards. The meat content, if you will, that was worth it, that you were trying to earn by doing padding or bad sections or side sections or whatever, right? And I find that this is true in a lot of cases when it comes to an inordinate quantity of game designs. I'm going to give a very, very anecdotal example of this. One friend of mine mentioned how much they enjoyed doing the random side zones in Inquisition in specific. And my first reaction was, why? And the answer was because at a certain part of their life, they needed to take their mind off of things because some bad stuff was happening in their real life. So they sat down, and Inquisition was the game that was out at the time. It was the current one on their docket. And they just randomly roamed around the hinterlands and was just doing random side things and just kind of settled into a groove. Didn't have to think about it, didn't have to worry about it. So it left a positive impact on their mind. Sense make? And that's the thing. I have encountered dozens of different specific reasons why our memories can be inaccurate when it comes to a specific game. I was talking to Third about this just last week, because you remember he and I had that dinner. And I mentioned to him how XCOM 2 didn't score anywhere nearly as well as I thought it would. So, of course, the obvious question is why? And, well, with the advantage of hindsight, I can see exactly why. There's two really big reasons why XCOM 2 didn't score that well. One, the last time we played, we modded the crap out of it. Do you remember that? This time around, we did a couple of minor cosmetic mods. Last time, we just buried it in mods. And, of course, number two, we spent almost the entire playthrough last time, mostly just chatting and talking and interacting, and analysis mode was not on, to put it very simply. It was mostly just a chatting stream, and that was fine, but that doesn't make the game any better, which brings us to reality. Sense make? And it's just interesting to always examine these kind of memories and see why they are the way that they are. And I don't mean any kind of elitism or judgment upon anyone. That's not really the point. Why did I enjoy Mega Man X3 so much back in the day? Because back in the day, it was one of only 2 Mega Man games I had access to play. I've told that story. I had Mega Man 7, which is not that great either, and Mega Man X3. Because I didn't own Mega Man X2, and it took me years later until I finally bought a copy of Mega Man X1. So all I had was X3 and 7. And when it's the only Mega Man that I have access to, I kind of put up with it more, because it's all I got. And I'm sure several of you know that particular one too, right? If the only CRPG you have is Dragon Age Inquisition, that's probably a bad example, but whatever, then it doesn't really matter that that it has issues or problems or difficulties, because it's the only port in the storm, right? No judgment. And that's sort of my overall point. I have found so many examples of this across my own real-life personal history. And it's just kind of fascinating in its own way to examine why my memories are X, Y, or Z. They're not even always wrong. I just gave an example of that. Dragon Age 2, Act 3, is exactly as bad as I was expecting it to be, right? And hell, I even liked the sequence we just went through. So there you go. Memory correct. But that's not really the point, right? I don't know. It's just something I wanted to bring up because I find the whole topic fascinating. That's all. And I wanted to bring it up here because, again, something I've been doing for the last 4 days, is I keep talking, don't worry, when we get back to the MSQ, we'll get back to positives. I've said that several times. I realized that was a mistake because I shouldn't say that because I was going with memory. By memory, the MSQ gets good. And that's why I wanted to bring this up once we finally got back to the MSQ. And then we spent 4 days doing optional stuff. All right, so Speaking of doing optional stuff, hang on, let me bring up Mega Man really quick. Speaking of Mega Man, I need my Mega Man. I needs it. Uh-oh. Shoot! It's out of juice. Okay. Put this on the charger so we can not play Mega Man. Damn it! That means I don't get Mega Man. There's only one thing to do. I gotta have my Mega Man. You don't understand. You don't understand. Yeah, we're gonna talk to everyone for 3 hours, so I need my Mega Man. I gotta endure this. I have to endure talking to everyone for 3 hours. This is gonna be the rest of the stream right here. That's what we're gonna find out here, Evo. This game is so much better when you're not 100%ing it. Which, of course, is to its detriment, but it's still a true statement. Okay, there should be no audio? Perfect. Cool. Liliana. My beloved from another timeline, who I can't even talk to. I can't talk to her. It's not letting me. It's not letting me! Okay, hang on. I've got a solution for this. First, I'll kill myself. Hang on. Let's do this.
You've given up. That's your problem.
Let's talk to Blackwall first. Hey! Alright. Mega Man time.
Someone I knew once described Adamant to me. Adamant is, and always will be, the Order, he said. A guardian on the edge of the abyss. The lone soul that stares into oblivion and doesn't waver. That's what Warden Commander Clarel tried to be. Well, they all tried to be. I'm told her wardens never wavered. They went to their deaths willingly. They died for us. And Corypheus twisted their sacrifice to make it his own.
Well, I mean, the Nightmare did.
We stopped him. We saved most of the Wardens.
But not all of them. And they died thinking they were doing something good. There's no one to blame but Corypheus. Even Clarel's intentions were righteous. Her desire to protect was so great it led her astray. It's not right. To want to do good, to be good, and have that turned against you.
Hold on. I mean, okay, I know that you have no idea what you're talking about, Blackwall, because you're a nobody and a moron. But, first of all, yeah, you notice how the game is trying to talk up Corypheus just a little bit too much? Like, we're putting all the blame on Corypheus. He's so big. His dick is so huge. You don't understand. It's the size of a whale, okay? I'm just saying.
Don't think of what went wrong. Think of their intentions, their sacrifice. Honor their selflessness.
Clarel made mistakes, but she was a great woman. And she died a great woman. It's not the armor or the trappings of the Order. It's not the joining. At the heart of it, all a Warden is a promise. To protect others, even at the cost of your own life.
Well, I mean, there's a couple other things. Not that you would know, Blackwall. Not that you know anything about the frickin' Grey Wardens, Blackwall.
Something on your mind?
Apparently that's it.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Okay, so that's all we got for him.
The horses. I forgot about the Ferelden horses.
Wait, what? No, I didn't. I did that quest already. Where's Cullen? Pray tell. I'm sorry, I just suddenly can't remember where he is for some reason. On the wall. Whoa, Cullen! I have come for you.
Strangest thing. When I reached down, my dagger was gone. Just gone. Know where I found it? In a barrel. The thing was filled to the brim with daggers. Got the strangest feeling. I know someone took it right off my belt, but I can't recall who.
Anyways, so one of our party quests should now be open now that we did that. That's a good question, Sub-Zero. The problem is I kind of don't care about him, and he's kind of crap. Oh, also, because, you know, I had to bring Dorian, and the Iron Bull, because they're permanent party members right now. So that only left me one additional slot, and I felt like Cassandra was just kind of better in every way. So I went with Cassandra, because she's better in every way. Now then, back to Mega Man.
As leader of the Inquisition, there's something I must tell you.
Dun, dun, dun. You can tell me anything, Cullen. No, I need more. Sorry.
Whatever it is, I'm willing to listen.
Right. Thank you. Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die. We have secured a reliable source of lyrium for the Templars here.
Good.
But I no longer take it.
Congrats.
You stopped.
When I joined the Inquisition. It's been months now.
Cullen, if this can kill you...
It hasn't yet. After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition at risk. I've asked Cassandra to watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
I like this, by the way, this whole thing here. This is a nice little tidbit.
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
Cassandra takes things as seriously as you do. If she has no problem with this, neither do I.
I thought you had a right to know.
Thank you.
The Inquisition's army must always take priority. Should anything happen, I will defer to Cassandra's judgment.
For real, thank you. That actually takes a bit of trust for you to even tell me that. You didn't have to. Now, talk to me. Talk to me, Cullen.
Templars, now the Grey Wardens, both devoted their lives to fighting evil. Now they serve it.
Talk to me like you're French girls, Cullen.
If I was possessed by a demon, would you?
I would rather not consider it.
Listen, Cullen, I need you to have wild, dirty, stinking, awful, mud-filled, oil-slicked...
Is there anything I should know?
I'd gotten used to mages disliking me on principle. Vivienne's views on Templars are surprisingly traditional.
Okay, that's apparently
That's all for now.
Another time, then.
Do you have anything else here?
Did you need something?
Apparently not. Okay.
That's all for now.
Another time, then.
Okay, so some of you are wondering why I'm playing Mega Man. Openly. Because I've been doing this the whole game, actually. I've been playing games on the side. Let me explain in full detail. This is just a thing with me, but if I'm just watching something, it's just not as engaging as if I'm not doing something, right? If I'm playing a video game, then I'm into it because I'm doing something. If I'm watching something, Now, you might think, but you, like, watch movies and shows all the time. Yeah, and I'm almost always doing that with someone else or for the show. So I'm either sitting there taking notes and doing research constantly, doing something, or interacting with the person, you know, like the person I'm watching with, which is doing something. I actually do not have ADHD. We've proven that as recently as this year. So I just kind of prefer to do something. That's all. That's it. That's all. So what I've been doing, and this is something that I just came up with, is for the extraordinarily lengthy dialogue sequences, which can last literal hours in this game, which we've already proven, what I started doing is I grabbed my Switch and I just started playing Mega Man. Most of my attention's on the game, and I'm paying attention to the dialogue, but it meant I was actually doing something while they were chatting. Sense make? I am not OCD. In fact, I am actually as neurotypical as it gets. Which some people may be surprised by, but I am not. When I was younger, people used to think I had some kind of issue or I was on the spectrum. They didn't call it that back then, but that's what they meant. I never quite felt that way, but I always kind of accepted it, because what the hell did I know? But with time and experience, I've come to realize and understand that no, I'm not that at all. People who are on the spectrum and people who have either forms of autism or forms of ADHD, the way their brains work is just completely different than the way my brain works, which again is something I'm only in more recent years starting to understand. I don't mean that as any way of a brag. It just makes me different from other people and makes other people different from me. Yeah, no, that's kind of exactly correct, Lord Harriman. I was talking to my sister about this literally just last night. I am the only neurotypical person of my inner circle. That's not a joke. Of all of my chosen family and my closest friends, I'm the only one that lies into this particular category. Now, I have some issues, but most of those issues boil down to the same thing, post-traumatic stress, which is the source of pretty much every issue I have. And that's different. That's something I'm still working through. Hey, cutscene!
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
Oh.
Let me guess, you're composing a love poem.
She's a Sinistral.
I couldn't. Not even if my life depended on it.
It's not that hard.
Yes, it is. Poetry takes finesse. It takes grace.
Do you think you don't have those things?
Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. It must be recorded.
That's an excellent idea, Cassandra.
It is.
I certainly thought so, until I started writing.
Harder than it sounds, isn't it?
I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the divine. I saw her there, heard her voice, yet I cannot claim with certainty it was really her. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her. Yet even so...
Do you really think it might have been her? A ghost?
A ghost. A remnant of her hopes and memories. Her lingering will to do good. Those things are all possible. Nobody knows for certain what happens after we die. A spirit could have assumed her form, but why? It helped you, as Justinia herself would have.
So, Evo, I think it was Evo, asked me this earlier. Someone asked me this earlier. Said, what do you think that thing actually was? Well, here's the deal. I think with total certainty that Justinia died in the initial cutscene, right at the beginning of the game. But Emperor Valerian decided to make some Mega Man music happen for right now. I don't know why he decided to do that. I have no idea where that's coming from. Complete ignorance here. But what I'm trying to say here is, what we do not know is what happens when someone dies when they are physically inside of the Fade. In fact, let me walk that question back for a second. What happens to anybody when you're physically inside the Fade? That is so far off the map as far as our understanding of how this setting works that I legitimately don't think we have enough information to even guess at what happens there. The reason this is also relevant is because if Justinia then dies in the Fade, what happens? You get where I'm going with this? Having said all of that, I would say that Justinia died and is dead and gone, but the thing that we saw is Justinia 2. A fork, to put it in the most fundamental terminology, right? Whatever was left of her mind, her abilities, her opinion, her mentality, her perspective, her memory, kind of coalesced with the spirit energy that the Fade consists of, and essentially manifested itself as what is, for all intents and purposes, a spirit, but at the same time, kind of isn't, you know? That's my take on it. And I'm probably extremely wrong, but as a result of that, I will then go ahead and say...
I believe it was the Divine. She helped us one last time.
I hope that's true. I want to believe it. When I realized we were physically in the Fade, I was terrified, almost beyond reason. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages.
I mean, yeah. Super deep bow! Thank you, Valerian. I will not bow. Thank you very, very much, Valerian. Always. I will put that down for FF14 Dawn Trail, Tactics Ogre Reborn, which I believe is on the list now, and Dragon Quest 7. It's really hard to read that from here, because you put Dragon Quest and then like an exclamation mark, and so I'm not sure if that's 7, 8, 13, 46, or 55. It is 7. Okay, just making sure. I just wanted to be absolutely sure. Figured it was 7.
It's always wonderful to speak with you.
I was hoping we could spend some time together.
As was I.
Wait, what? What? We already had a sex scene. We can't have another one. What is this, a hardcore porn game? That's Mass Effect. Come on. It's like you Neverwinter Nights 2. I would like to date you. Gladly. Points if you get the reference. Yeah, generic, repeatable romance scene. Alright, cool. That's neat. Whoa, that's not neat. Oh my god, whoa. This is what I feel like every time I kiss Cassandra. I'm like, yeah! Woo! Woo! Oh, that was so... Okay. I'm good. Let's go. Have you not seen that, Mizuno? Yeah, no, I'm not actually making that up. It was Fox News, decided to state that Mass Effect, well, I forget the exact quote, but they did specifically call it a porn game, and it's like, it was part of the, oh my god, moral outrage, video games are corrupting our kids kind of an angle. And it was exactly as bullcrap as it sounds. The best part is they were saying about Mass Effect 1, which, if you remember, has like the most vanilla PG romance scenes in the whole series.
Come on! This is why the Qun doesn't like women fighting. I should have asked Cullen.
Cassandra?
Good one.
Thank you, Cassandra.
Perhaps you can take over.
Gunari training exercise to master your fear. Been a while since I needed it, but that nightmare demon was... big.
All right.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Damn demon. Who's stuck in the Fade, huh?
That nightmare wanted to tear you in half.
Not a chance. Piece of Fade, piece of crap. And who killed you? That's right. Iron fucking Bull. I needed that. Thanks, boss.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
It's kind of weird, but okay. I was gonna say, actually, Loghain did that, but you know what? We're cool.
Hey, boss. How are you?
Can you tell me more about Saharon?
It was a damn ugly place. Only getting uglier when I left. Between the Fog Warriors, the Tal Rashath, my people, and the Vince. You were lucky to go a day without blood. What do you want to know?
What were the Fog Warriors like?
They were the worst of the rebels. They trained for stealth attacks. They made this fog. I never saw any mages, so I figured it was alchemy, not magic. They were almost invisible in it. I'd be on patrol in the market square. The fog would roll in, and before I knew it, half my squad dead without a sound.
Oh, that's cute.
It almost sounds like you admire them.
They didn't use poison. They didn't hurt civilians, and they were damn good fighters. You have to respect that. Plus, they hit the Vince as hard as they hit us. Hearing some terrified Magister scream, "My slaves! Where are my slaves?" in the fog always put a smile on my face.
Tell me about the Tal-Vashoth.
When Qunari can't handle the fighting in Saharan or lose faith in the Qun, they go rogue. They flee into the wilderness and turn into bandits, attacking everyone. They're vicious, savage. You look at them and you can see why my people needed the Qun to stay civilized.
Isn't that what you did, though?
Hey, when I burned out, I didn't go rogue. I reported in and went where the Ben Hasrath sent me. I'm doing my job, serving the Qun out here. I'm not some bandit. I am nothing like them.
Sure thing. Whatever you say, buddy.
Tell me about the Tevinter people you fought.
The Vince send forces to Saharan every autumn. Guess they didn't like the summer heat. We had some good fights on the beaches, standing in knee-high water foaming red with blood, ships on fire around us. The cities were worse. Free bit of advice. Don't let the Inquisition forces get suckered into urban combat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why do you hate Tevinter forces so much? What makes them so bad?
It's not their armies. It's their spies. They bloodied Saharan year-round, killing loyalists, supporting rebels. Alam had no city administrator. Nobody would accept the position. The last 4 who held it died inside a year. Trying to conquer a country is one thing. Making it so nobody can live there, that just screws everyone.
What are things like for the natives of Saharan?
I remember one guy. He made these things, fish wrapped in thin bread. Nice guy. Talked to him every morning. So, one time I'm asking about his bad back, and I see he's nervous, trying to tell me something with his eyes. Next thing I know, his assistants draw knives and come at my team. The rebels had forced him to poison my food.
And then?
I'd seen how nervous he was, so I hadn't eaten anything. A couple of my guys weren't so lucky. We killed the rebels. I lost 2 men to the poison, another to knife wounds. My friend who made the fish wraps died with a knife in his throat. Close quarters fight. He was caught in the middle. That is what things are like for the natives of Saharan.
That sounds terrible.
See you later, Bo.
Nice talking with you, boss. Hey, boss. How are you?
You said we should go get some drinks and meet your company?
Yeah, come on. It'll be fun.
I believe that would be this quest, Evo.
Ah, good. We're not drinking alone. How you doing, creme de la creme?
Your worship. I'm so glad he has someone new to hit with that joke.
I can think of worse places to go with Crimicius.
So can the chief, believe me. He loves his nicknames.
Hey, when I was growing up, my name was just this series of numbers. We all give each other nicknames under the Qun.
They ever wear shirts under the Qun, chief? Or do they just run around binding their breasts like that?
It's a harness, creme.
Yes, for your pillowy man bosoms. Let me know if you need help binding. You could really chisel something out of that overstuffed look.
Who are the others?
A lot of the Chargers went looking off for stronger drinks. Let's see, who's left? We've got Rocky and Skinner there. And over there are Stitches, Dalish, and Grim. Crazy bunch of assholes, but they're mine.
Were you born on the surface, or are you from Orzammar?
Orzammar. I got exiled. Stupid noble crap. Also, I accidentally blew up a bit of the shape rate.
Rocky's one of our best sappers. He can take down enemy fortifications faster than a golem.
I'm also working on my own version of Qunari black powder. I've almost got it.
Yeah, you really don't.
Why aren't you with your clan?
Our keeper thought I should see the world a little.
Dalish don't have Templars, so they can't have too many mages in a clan at once.
Now, sir, you know I'm not a mage. That'd make me an apostate.
You carry a staff, Dalish.
It's a bow.
A bow with a giant glowing crystal at the tip.
Yes, it's for aiming. Old elven trick you wouldn't understand.
Uh-huh.
I take it you're the company healer.
Yes, first time I ever picked up a sword was when the Blight hit Ferelden. Never put it back down.
He makes a potion that'll put you right back on your feet after even the toughest fight. It tastes terrible, though.
That's because it's a poultice, sir. You're not supposed to drink it.
So how'd you join the Chargers?
Killed some people.
Skinner didn't take kindly to nobles testing their new swords on the elves in her alienage.
Bull took me in. Now I get paid to kill shams.
This is actually really good behavior for her. She's not marking her territory or anything.
Grim, is it?
Grim doesn't talk much. I'm pretty sure he's the lost king of some small country, or a chieftain. Something like that.
Got a good company, Bull.
Ah, we do all right.
Man can beat the Chargers, cause what hits you where it hurts. Unless you know a tavern with loose cards and looser skirts. For every bloody battlefield will gladly raise a cup. No matter what tomorrow holds, the horns be pointing up.
Thanks for coming by, boss. Glad you could meet some of my team.
May God be with you.
Hey, that elven redhead who makes the buns in the kitchen. Is she available? Because I'm getting signals.
I'd like to hear more about the Chargers.
Always happy to talk about my guys. What do you want to know?
How did you start the group?
It's easy to make a name for yourself as a merc when you're a head taller than most folks. I spent a year or two working for Fisher's Bleeders, but their captain was crap. Figured I could do better. The best folks in the Bleeders agreed with me, so we split off.
I imagine Fisher disagreed.
He came at me. I snapped his sword in half, and we talked things out over drinks.
What are the craziest jobs you've ever taken?
Besides this one, there's a lot of violence between the nobles here, but that's standard work. The fun stuff is when they party. They always want to impress each other, and that means getting something shiny.
We've hunted wyverns, fought through caves to find some old magical crap. Even went giant baiting once.
Sorry, giant baiting?
What's giant baiting?
So this old guy, Comte Van Chess, has some kind of a pageant planned. But he needs a giant, which is off in some damn cave. He's got some kind of rare charm to control the giant, but no way he's going into that cave himself. So we go in, kill some spiders, find the giant, and wake it up.
It attacks us because, of course, it does. And we let the big bastard chase us outside where Van Chess is waiting.
That was actually your plan? To let a giant chase you?
Yeah, we had to stay out of reach, but close enough that it wouldn't give up. It was tricky. Good news is the giants are slow. Long as my guys ahead could clear out the spiders, we were fine. Bad news is the giant spiderwebs slow you down a bit more than you think.
But at least Comte Van Chess got his giant for the pageant.
Turned out that charm was a phony. Giant ate the poor guy alive. It's okay, though. We still got paid.
Wah, wah.
You have people from plenty of different backgrounds in your group.
Yes, well, when you're in Orlais and you look like me, you can't be picky about who you take in. A lot of them got turned away from other companies that didn't want a knife here, or a crazy dwarf. Their loss. You get my back in a fight and carry your own weight, you're good with me.
I'd like to know more about Krem.
He's a good soldier, and a better second in command. The troops need someone to complain to when I'm being a hard ass. He's good for that.
You don't have a problem with him being from Tevinter?
Nah.
But you hate the Vints.
Sure, but he's not a Vint. He's just Krem. I can get worked up about a group or a nation just fine, but people... It's too much work to hate them one by one.
Point.
You don't have any problems with him being a woman?
He's not a woman. Look, I've got horns. You can shoot fire out of your ass. We're probably not the best people to go around deciding what's normal. Krem's a good man. I don't give a nug's ass that it's a little harder for him to piss standing up.
The only reason I even took that option is so you could hear it, by the way. I don't want to dive into this particular Serpent's Nest, but when this game came out, acceptance of the trans community was just barely at the very beginnings of anything. And so, if you remember, a lot of people decided to jump on this game in both directions because of the fact that Krem was there and he's cool, right? I don't have much else to add to that, to be completely honest with you. I have seen games do this exact same thing, but worse since then. And I've seen games do this exact same thing, but better since then. Shrug. On the plus side, Krem is actually pretty cool, so that works out neatly.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
And that should be it for the moment.
Pleasure as always, boss.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
Hello, Latefty.
Have you seen otherwise?
It's just what I heard.
I think. I'll be honest, I didn't realize that was Jennifer Hale at first. She does a good job of playing him, I would say. And Hale herself has been pretty cool, so that makes sense as well. But yeah, no, that's my overall point. I hate to hammer this point in, but one of the things I personally tend to prefer when it comes to this sort of thing is when they present the person as if it's a non-issue, right? I'm explaining that badly. Nobody makes a big deal that Krem's a he because he's a he. It's normal. It's natural. Done. Cool. No issues, right? It tends to irritate me more when someone tries to make it a big thing, and usually done for comedic purposes. I'm looking at you, Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Right. Great work.
I mean, you know me, Equalitus. People are people.
Let's just say I'm glad they're moving.
So, we haven't talked to Sarah, we haven't talked to a lot of people. I'm trying to remember where everyone is. Let's go up here. And go talk to Solus and Varric and...
This is a hall
like, everybody, basically.
Inquisition.
Oh, God, anime. Just, yeah.
I guess the hero of River Dane's story finally came to an end. Loghain was the Ferelden ideal, you know, the common boy who freed his kingdom and became a Terran.
This is...
He helped to end the Fifth Blight.
Weird.
The rest aside, that made him a hero. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. This story's no good for heroes.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rain 36. Nobody would ever be playing Mega Man here. Nobody in this particular stream likes Mega Man. Except for me, and apparently I'm just screwing it up here because I'm trying to decide what option to pick. Here, give me that. This is weird because this cutscene is so clearly designed to be Hawk's dead, but she's not. So... Oh yeah, someone asked earlier who the hardest boss is in Robot Master Boss in Mega Man 2. Depends on how you value difficulty. Because believe it or not, Airman could qualify for that since there's so much that he can do, which you can't qualify for. Like you can't accommodate for. But Quickman and Crashman and Heatman are probably the actual hardest bosses in Mega Man 2. Because all of what they do boils down to what you do. They are all reactionary bosses, which is actually really common and became the standard in Mega Man specifically because of these bosses and because of this game. Metal Man is reactive too, but he is very, very controllable.
You must be glad that Hawk made it back in one piece.
Yeah, closest thing I've ever seen to a miracle there. Hawk asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where she's going. Baker's breath, Isabella's going to be furious. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me.
And my favorite of the boss fights is actually probably Crash Man. He's mean if you don't use his weakness, which I guess is true for a lot of these. God damn it, move forward 3 inches.
Sorry, I really need to write some letters. Another time, all right?
Oh, okay. So you really are just not talking to me now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Crash Man's stage. Especially this part right here. Hang on, just give me a second. Let's just get past this part here. Okay, we're cool. Alright, so... I can't... See, if this was a proper MMO, I could actually play this while still holding the controller. Oh, right, and yeah, now we gotta go and talk to Sarah, who's apparently back here. Whee! Talk to me, Sarah. Talk to me like you're French girls.
Our heroes strode the winding road, defiant of the vile.
Alright, where you at? Where you at?
For home and call, when met the monster mile.
Blessed.
Kin through blood and sin.
For Christ's sakes, where are you, Sarah?
A rising cut through bone and skull, an awful skyward blue. I see. I think this one is simply not my style.
Aha! Nice room.
Heard what went on in that Fade thing. What you think went on. Can't even start to believe that business.
I think a lot of people are having trouble with what went on there.
People going on about visions and piss when real people are gone. Dead, probably. Logain, yeah? Not a lot of tears for that one. And in trade, a busted down bunch of wardens. And they're always weird. Usually, bad stuff happens first, so you're glad when the hero shows up. But wardens are the wrong way round. They're the good thing that means a bad thing is about to happen. Like in Denerim, when the Blight ended.
A lot happened in Denerim. What did you see?
People talked a lot about this one warden. There was a big fight and they died, or... I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
The hero of Ferelden. You forget the hero of Ferelden?
That was ages ago. 10 years. I was playing with small painted boxes and burying stuff I stole. I remember more cringing about magic than Blight. Wardens were an excuse for your stuff to go missing. Blackwall's nice, though. Different from the adamant ones. Need more like him.
Which is funny when you think about it.
Hey, you. I have an Inquisitor favor to ask. Just a little thing, really. A little march around for some of your people. It's nothing for you, right?
All right. Let's hear what you've got.
Jump right in, huh? I like that. It's a Red Jenny thing. I got a tip that some noble stiffs are arguing over Verschel. Land squabble. They're getting little people beat up, so I need you to go to your big table and send some people to walk through town.
Just walk through?
Just walk through. Easy, right?
Was this a tip from one of your friends?
Not a Jenny. Just normal angry people getting sick of being in the middle. I don't usually hear about things this far away. But having a friend like you is like getting really big ears. Bigger ears, I guess. Shut up.
Who is asking for this?
I'm asking because I heard people complaining. See, when nobles fight, it's not them. It's their little people stuck in the middle. It's like a polite war, so no one pays attention. But if you march through, the people up top feel threatened too. Stuff like this is always happening. Good sovereigns to be made if you're one of the few who notice.
What does the Inquisition get out of this?
Nobles think everyone is out to get them. So when your helmets march through, both sides will think the other's your ally. Both get scared, both make deals. Worst case, you get a little bump among the people just because they see you active. Can't promise anything, but something will happen. Just like always.
Okay. Sure.
All right, Sarah. I'll have someone look into it.
It's fun, right? being important without doing a thing. Well, not much of a thing. Not everything has to be torn skies and ancient arseholes. Every little thing makes a difference somewhere.
I mean, you say that.
Getting serious about mage stuff, magic, things. How about not so much? Just asking for not so much magic. Great, yeah?
You're an elf. And apparently that's it right now.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
This has been a lot shorter than I thought, but you notice we've almost gotten all 8 bosses in Mega Man 2 just during this dialogue bit. This roundabout.
It's just what I heard.
Apparently that one of the... And if you mean kicking her out of the group, Lord Harriman, I'm not going to kick her out of the group. God damn it. Okay, hang on. Apparently there was something that didn't look like a dialogue option because her choices are designed very badly because this is on the Frost engine. No, it's not your fault, Lord Harriman. It's the game's fault. Why? And I mean this with total sincerity. Why is that a thing? Every single one of them has this, where there's like a repeatable dialogue option that never goes away, and it's just, any opinion of our allies? Any thoughts on our progress? Any feeling about what's going on right now? What do you think of my advisors? What do you think of the party members? And it's like, why? Why is that a thing? Why is Vansony so awesome? I didn't decide that. Vansony decided that, and thank you, Vansony, very much. I will put that towards Invisible Ink, Dragon's Dogma, and Empire of Sin. You got it. Concerns about magic use.
Do you have any worries about how my magic is developing?
Really? You have to ask what's so bad about the magic stuff. I mean, that weirdy talking about night whatevers.
Night Enchanter. Battle magic.
Not helping. I don't understand that stuff. It's scary to anyone smart enough to think for a second. You shouldn't be scary. You're the Inquisitor.
But Okay. Well, hang on. I'm currently jumping over a bunch of lava that can kill me in one shot if I'm not careful. By the way, hardest stage in the game right here.
What has you so scared?
You really don't know? Most people are scared. I mean, there's lots of mages here, but most never see one. Never. You're weird, and I know you, so you're not scary. But lots of people don't know you. I don't want you to be just a scary mage.
That's weirdly sweet.
Don't be silly. I'm not that scary.
Oh, ha, real funny. Fine, I'm fine with it. Be scary and a shit.
That's Bajurb. Oh, that screwed that up. Okay, now, carry on.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
Why would you terrified of what you don't understand? All you have to do is understand it. And then you're good. Now you understand everything. Let's see. Where am I? Nope, I went too far down, it looks like. There's this jack. There you are. You.
I'll keep an eye out.
Oh, Inquisitor. I joined. Sutherland, your worship. I saw some bandits, so I came to warn people. I'll let your warriors know and then stay out of the way.
Could be better.
Cool. Who? Wandering doll?
I see.
No. But you like demons! I enjoy the company of spirits, yes, which is part of why I do not abuse them with bindings. It isn't abuse if I ask.
Damn it.
Not always true. Also, I do not practice blood magic, which renders this entire conversation academic. He won't bind me. He's a mage and he likes demons, but he won't help.
I'm sorry, what?
Why would you want Solus to bind you?
So I'm safe. If Solus won't do the ritual to bind me, someone else could. Will. Like the Warden mages, and then I'm not me anymore. Walls around what I want. Blocking, bleeding, making me a monster.
I'm sorry. You're talking less sense than usual, Cole.
A mage using blood magic could conceivably do that to any one of us, human or demon.
You should ask Solus to bind you too. And then someone can bind him.
Solus.
We'll find a way to keep you safe
who is not
without
Solus.
binding you, Cole.
I have a suggestion, if Cole is ready to listen. I recall stories of amulets used by Raveni seers to protect spirits they summoned from rival mages. A spirit, wearing an amulet of the Unbound, was immune to blood magic and binding. It should protect Cole as well. The resources of the Inquisition could be used to find such a talisman. Good. They will not take me.
I mean, if you think about it, being a spirit and wandering around would probably be really terrifying. Especially in a setting where... Why am I out here?
From Haven's fire come we, the able true.
Now there's an interesting thought. A tranquil party member.
We rally with our hero.
It started out helping, taking the fear away. I won't take too much. I am not that.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to talk about what happened to you before we met.
Before you, Rhys was my friend. He showed me I was wrong to kill the mages. I thought I was helping them. Then he and Evangeline went to Adamant, and I went with them. I was worried Evangeline would hurt Rhys. We found out dangerous things. It scared Seeker Lambert, and he scared the mages. It started the rebellion. Seeker Lambert told me what I was. Rhys couldn't look at me. I ran until I found more Templars. That's all.
What was the Spire like when the Mage Rebellion started?
Dead and dying, begging and bloody. Some wanted freedom, some peace, some war. Some wanted it all to stop. Evangeline was a Templar, but she helped Rhys help the others. She set them free. Adrian was a mage, but she killed mages to force the fight. She wanted blood. Rhys just wanted to help, to stop people hurting. Maybe that's why he saw me.
Yeah, you read Asunder, right?
What can you tell me about Rhys?
He was a mage. He saw me when most couldn't, and he remembered. He helped me, and I watched over him. I worried Evangeline would hurt him. She was a Templar, but she didn't like hurting people. When I left, she stayed. Now she watches over him. They should have been with the rebels. Maybe they ran away together instead. Neither of them like killing.
If you like, I could use the resources of the Inquisition to locate your friend.
No. If they are alive and safe, they should stay away. The last time he saw me, he didn't want to look at me. He saw a monster. Let him forget.
What did you mean when you said you killed mages?
Some of the mages at the Spire wanted to die. Too sad, too scared, too much. I didn't know what I was. A ghost, I thought. Fading in the fade. When I came to them, they could see me. I used the knife to set them free. When Rhys found out, he made me stop, made me understand. There were other ways to help.
Wait, you can help people without killing them? Holy crap. That's news to me.
It sounds like you didn't know what you were doing.
No, I killed people. I knew. I just thought I had to. They were hurting, helpless, haunted. It was all I could do. It was wrong. I was wrong. If I start again, you or Cassandra or Cullen need to kill me.
Okay. Oh, I was supposed to be like all torn up about that, wasn't I? Oh no, Cole. I want true love.
What can you tell me about Adamant Fortress?
It is old, full of sadness and pain. It should be torn down. Thank you for not making me go.
You're welcome.
You said Seeker Lambert told you what you were.
I'm hiding Rhys from him, but he chants words and sees. I won't let you hurt Reese. My nose explodes, a shower of blood. Just another parasite that's wormed its way into our world, feeding off all the things you can't have. What we found at Adamant made him angry. We were the first rock rolling at the top of a mountain. He had to stop us. He killed so many. He didn't care. Cold, corrupt. So I came and killed him.
Cool.
If you hated Seeker Lambert, why go to the Seeker Fortress?
Because he was right. I was a demon. I saw demons at Adamant. They put people in the dark, in the old hurts. I didn't want to be that. I heard the old songs of the Templars at Val Royeaux and followed them. If I forgot, fought, fell to felling, Templars would kill the demon. I wouldn't hurt anyone again.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? They should have been born together, but instead they were bound by light.
I hear you've been busy. Someone found a barrel full of misplaced daggers. Was that you?
They were safer there.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
Boop, 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 boop. Now, just to placate Lord Harriman and to drag this stream on as much as humanly possible.
Sitting and waiting. Great, yeah?
So you like to have fun. The Inquisition.
I swear we picked this before.
Why are you really here?
What do you mean? To help people.
It's starting to sound like you're looking for something more.
It is. Mostly. Okay, fine. There's talk and I want to see.
See what?
I don't know. I've got all this chantry stuff in my head and it makes sense, right? But it's fuzzy. I want to see if it's all really real. I just don't know if I want to really know. So I'm selfish. It's all for me. Count yourself lucky, I guess.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
As usual, I accept being proven incorrect. Let's see. Let me jump down here. Yaw. Yaw. Right, now we do Solus.
I cannot believe the Grey Wardens could even conceive of such a plan.
Shut up.
To seek out these old gods deliberately, in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
And calling the army of demons. That's my favorite part.
The demons are nothing. They're a tool.
A tool that would have let Corypheus ride roughshod over most of Orlais.
Even if they hadn't, the entire idea is wrong. The Blight is not something one smugly outsmarts. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
Okay. Dude, could you throw him back here so I can talk to you some more?
The new power you wield. I heard from Cassandra that it is the magic of the Knight Enchanters. If I am not mistaken, the techniques descend from those of ancient elven mages, called arcane warriors. I wonder what they would think to see their magic used in defense of the Chantry.
That's an interesting question. What do you think, Solus?
I can't imagine ancient elves would be happy to see their techniques used by Chantry mages.
Perhaps they would surprise you. So much knowledge has been lost. Perhaps having something they created carried forward, even in such a different form, would gratify them. Did you need anything else?
I need to know more about Corypheus.
You've taken his army. He lacks the conventional forces to take Orlais. He must see Orlais destroyed utterly by whatever means possible, not merely thrown into chaos.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Is that it? Hang on.
What can I do for you?
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Sounds like do the next MSQ for Solus.
You have remarkably little here on early to Vinter history.
Gee, I wonder why that is.
All these gifts to the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio. Trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on Sunday, this is evidently the place to find it.
That's what we're here for. Hold on, is that a flirt? That looks like a flirt. It is a flirt.
If I knew what you were looking for, I could help you.
Because you're a mage? Considering education standards in the South, that's hardly a recommendation. I apologize. That was unworthy. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
What else could it be about? What happened at Adamant, of course. We went into the Fade. Physically went in.
Yeah.
Are you... all right?
Interesting camera angle. Gotta have that Dutch angle.
I learned a surprising amount. What happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, for one.
Regained your memories. That's good, then.
I think so.
You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years. Corypheus and his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blights. In comparison.
Yeah, that's another thing. Us physically entering the Fade feels like it should be a really, really big deal. And they even talk about it like it's a big deal, but once they're done talking about how big a deal it is, it's gone. Like, it's never going to come up again.
You're right. I was fortunate.
Indeed. Although there is cause for concern. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Who knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed? Not all of them will be as lucky as you. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many will see this as a challenge.
That's a good idea.
There are enough idiots in the world who think if they just use enough blood magic, their problems will vanish. It's exactly the sort of thing I want to stop back home. This I don't need. What I do need is a copy of the Liberalum. I'll wager I can find Corypheus's real name. If I can prove he was a grasping ankle-biter with no family to speak of, the luster would come right off. Wish me luck.
His real name was Bob, by the way.
I thought I'd never see Cassandra blush. Yet the last time I saw her part ways with you... Good on you, Miss Sayre. Perhaps you can relax some of the stiffness out of that armor of hers.
No,
I
Evo.
should go. Try not to die. I would notice you were gone.
Aw, that's actually sweet. Let's turn on some of this while we're here. In that case, he just doesn't reveal his information. It's fine, Raven King. It's fine.
Inquisitor. I have been thinking. You remember everything now, yes?
Uh-huh.
The explosion at Haven, the Fade, escaping the breach. In your report, you said Justinia was with you. But only you emerged in the end. Why? Why were you the only survivor?
She knew it was either her or me. And she wanted me to live.
Of course. Of course she did. That's just like her. Her message to me. I failed you too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Did you say anything else? Anything at all? Please, if you remember.
I'm sorry, Liliana. That was it.
There are no answers in the Fade. Only illusions. A warped mirror. Justinia has never failed me. I was her left hand. Now she's dead. I failed her.
Well, as it happens, Stray got funded a couple of days ago, Techno's World. So you can put that towards something else. Remember, you can put it towards up to 3 things if you want to. But either way, thank you very, very much, Techno's World. I do appreciate those subs. Thank you. There's probably another scene. You don't have to tell me to keep talking to him. We're doing a talkie sequence. We've been talking to him until we've looped. It's okay. It's calm. Calm, Evo. Calm. Evo's over here like, talk to her. And I'm like, wait, Evo, please. And she's like, no, talk to her. And I'm like, okay, please stop beating me up. And then she beats me up one more time for good measure. I even lose my headset. That's how much she's beating me up here. She's just going to town here.
What we learned at Adamant concerns me. The hero Ferelden and I have been together for years. I nearly lost him to the Archdemon. He's looking for a way to stop the calling from taking him, as it does every Grey Warden. But if Corypheus has power over the Wardens, my love could be in danger.
So here's our big Warden cutscene. Oof.
If you two are still together, why isn't he here?
His quest took him far to the west, to lands that have never known the Blight. But Justinia needed me here. I owed her that much. My love and I are never truly apart. When this is all over, I will join him again. And this time, nothing will come between us.
Yakuza 0, you got it. Thank you again.
What makes him think he can stop the calling?
It has been done before. Grand Enchanter Fiona was once a warden, but something took all trace of the calling from her. A warden mage named Avernus also found a way to prolong his life with magic. It wasn't much, but enough to stop the hunt. He will find a way. I have faith in him.
He was a player character once.
Were the two of you happy together in the years after the Blight?
Happier than you could imagine. The only shadow over our love was knowing that one day I would lose him to the calling. His quest is for me as much as for him. He knows how much I've lost.
Yeah, whatever. Just letting it go, because whatever.
What would you like to do?
I do not know where the hero Ferelden is precisely, but I know how to get a message to him. He may have information that helps the Inquisition. At worst, it will do no harm. I will draw up a plan in the war room. Thank you.
Anything I should know?
It seems that the Orlesian army is awaiting our next move. Some of the generals are sympathetic to our cause, others are still suspicious. Our actions are under a great deal of scrutiny.
I'll leave you to your work.
So Varric knew where the champion was all along. That's the last time we sent Cassandra to interrogate.
Little out of date there, whatever.
I'll leave you to your work.
I keep talking to her and she keeps... This is not the first time I've run through everything with Liliana. I can prove this. It's on camera. And yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I get why they decided the Warden goes off to cure the calling. It's kind of a generic catch-all quest that most Wardens would probably have at least some interest in. You know, whether they are selfish and want to live, or heroic and want to save the other Wardens, or even scholarly and just want to understand more about how the world works. So there's a logic there, but I'm kind of with Evo in that it essentially just feels like they're trying to push the Warden out of the narrative as hard as possible, and that's the actual goal here.
You walked physically through the Fade. Please tell me what you remember.
Well, thank you again, Techno's World. Very, very, very much. I feel honor-bound to remind you that you can put it towards up to 3 things. There's no splitting. There's no consequence for that. 3 things can get the full donation. If you want to. You don't have to. But I mean, considering that Yakuza Kiwami 2 is also on the list, just a suggestion there. Sweet hydration. Okay, we'll put it towards Yakuza 2, excuse me, Yakuza 0, And Yakuza 2 Kiwami. So let's see, that's 10. So, okay. It's okay, it's got electrolytes.
I was physically in the Fade at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, too. You didn't ask about that.
Darling, you didn't remember anything. Questioning you would have hardly been productive. No one else has physically entered the Fade since the Magisters assaulted the Golden City. Oh, I'm positively envious right now.
Yeah, cool. And we're done with her.
Your lost books have been found.
My dear, you are a treasure.
Yeah, that's cool. Hang on. I actually don't like flavored water, weirdly enough. Unless it's Coke. I love Coke. I mean... What? Play Travol?
I always have time for you, my dear.
Apparently not. Okay, so that's Vivienne. Let's go talk to Josephine. And I think that's everybody at that point. Aside from, you know, Judgment Time. Bum, 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 bum.
Adamant's influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus. We found him alive, offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
Many places felt the pain of adamant. You will answer for a great deal.
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the contrary, many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground you trod in your pathetic life. I serve a living god. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
What is it, Evo? I like these options, though, in all honesty. I can kill him personally. We can imprison him for life. We can toss him to the Wardens. Or we can tranquilize him. Admittedly, I don't agree, RRC, but at the same time, I do get where you're coming from, and I do kind of agree with you. The problem is, the Warden was kind of, well, the shepherd of the setting, as in Mass Effect shepherd, right? And then they just kind of leave the narrative. And I have to, because the Warden can die. And I've talked this to death. I've actually analyzed this and discussed this for so long that the Dragon Age lore run, which is one of my older lore runs, by the way, which we did before this game even came out, talked about this. So it makes a degree of sense, and I do agree that they didn't have an ideal option, but with time and circumstance, I could say they did have options here other than just writing the Wardens and, excuse me, the Warden out of the story, which is what they did. You know what? That is a good idea, Emperor Valerian. I'll have to figure out a good way to visually present that. Oh, gotcha. Well, anyways, tranquility.
You are the worst of us. The damage you have done is beyond all...
Disapprove. Disapprove. Disapprove.
Punishment. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, I deny you death. Tranquility.
You cannot! I'm a lord, you pissants! I will not lose myself!
That is a horrifically cruel thing that I normally wouldn't do, but, you know. Fate worse than death. Have fun. It is cruel. I don't feel particularly bad about it, though. Huh. War table operation. How could you? Yeah, I noticed Vivienne approved of that. Did you catch that? Oh, no. Anyway. Hard and Hightown. Found several similarities to events in Varric's book, but are slightly off. Dead Magistrate was not at his home.
I'm still reeling over the army of demons. Imagine what would have happened if the Inquisitor hadn't arrived.
Man found murdered in a locked room was a Comte, not a Magister. Executors did not send warning note directly to Donnan. Obviously, object of plot is a sword of Hissarian, not a penny dreadful author. Close look at the ripoff book shows numerous grammatical and spelling errors that seem random at first, but ciphers believe include code information. Killer and author are clearly linked. Either the murder investigation or the code might lead us to a target. 2 points. The book is abysmal, and the entire code-breaking department wants to ritually set it on fire. The message is double encrypted. The message in the mistakes is a Merchant's Guild cipher. I fear we have not yet broken the Guild's code. Judgment. How could you? There's a protest we must attend. A group of mages has heard of your judgment and the imposition of tranquility. They wonder why they fight for someone who can impose so brutal a penalty. That, coupled with your support of the Templars, has created a volatile situation. So we can assassinate some of the mages.
A captain sent back sketches of the walls. Our experts say they look elven.
Interesting. Does Corypheus send scholars to find something the elves buried? Or something buried with them?
Yeah, let's go with Cullen's answer here. Cannot say we have peace, but we have calm. A representative spoke with the protesting mages and reassured them of how gravely you approach the use of tranquility. I suspect the only reason they were successful at reasoning with you is that you yourself are a mage. They may wonder how one of their own could do that to another mage, but on some level, they accept at least it was one of their own. Note careful handwriting. To the Inquisitor, I found bandits stalking your patrols. This is from Sutherland. Bandits have been killed. Cool. Here's the amulet for Cole. Go get the amulet.
Let's see what we have.
Nightingale. It's been some time since I crossed paths with your agents. It's only natural both they and I chose the night of Duke M's ball to pay a visit to his private collections. I confess matters nearly became unpleasant. I am grateful your agents still remember the appropriate phrases we in the delicate arts use. While I prefer... They know thieves can't. While I prefer to avoid a political entanglement, I wish nothing but good fortune to the Inquisition in restoring order in these troubling times. The article in question was among the lesser of the items which I was interested in, and your agents are most welcome to it. I am pleased this matter has ended with harm to none save the Duke M's pet wyvern and his collection of rare Antivan clocks. Till we meet again, R. Jarek, we need a key to the Merchant's Guild cipher from 1 month ago, and you still have payments left in the loan house Tethris gave you for your rescue mission to Omgarok. So I think we can make a deal. I get the cipher, your debt disappears like financial magic. And Nightingale, since I know you're open to this and read it before it gets sent, don't bother to keep a copy. The guild changes their codes every month because dwarves are naturally paranoid. Tethris, are you still skipping out of meetings? You'd have a copy of this already if you had showed up once in a while. Not that I'd mind. Happy enough to trade your worthless piece of parchment for 1,000 crown debt. My name is Vark Tethris, and I'm a Bronto-licking backstabber who steals customers. That's the message deciphered. Meanwhile, let's contact her.
Inquisitor.
The hero of Ferelden answered our messages. She left a letter for the Inquisitor and another to be delivered privately. She also sent goods from her travels. Yay, okay, cool. That's cool. The Venatori are smuggling red lyrium into Antiva, and thus far they have evaded our grasp. We believe Lord Enzo of Rialto is assisting them. Enzo's clever, well-liked, and has relations amongst Antivan royalty. If we approach him without proof, he will bury his tracks and his allies against us. We must send her.
We have.
Our agents entered his home, where they discovered several pieces of correspondence connecting Enzo to the Venatori. Worse, it seems Enzo did more than buy into their philosophy. He's been arranging to send volunteers to the Red Lyrium mines, a.k.a. the people being... Yeah. As they took these people from Rialto's poorer, more unfortunate residences, few noticed the disappearance. Our agents were prepared to confront Enzo with the evidence, but he failed to return. We have since learned he hired a ship to Hakirani in the Free Marches. It seems unlikely he knew of his presence, but something spooked him. Have our agents track him to the Free Marches. We must kill him horribly. We encountered your agents in Hercynia. It seems the Inquisition and the Crows share a target. Our employer bears no love for Lord Enzo due to... Let's just say it's a personal matter. Of course, I imagine your motivations have more to do with the man's Tevinter friends. You know the Venatori, we know Enzo. Why compete for the man? Lend us your knowledge and the job will be done far more swiftly. Done.
Let's see what
With the knowledge of the Venatori and the Crow's intelligence and Enzo, I tracked down a storehouse just outside the city. I hope he didn't want us to leave any of the Venatori alive. Sadly, Lord Enzo was not present, but he may count his life in days. To show respect for our current arrangement, an interesting trinket from our raid, which, of course, I didn't even get anything. Cool, thanks for that. Your Inquisition is working with the Crows. I ask only because I may have removed one of the assassins from your employ. If I'd known the man was yours, I would have at least let him finish the contract. No matter. Allow me to make it up to you. You know I would do a much better job than the Crows, and I am far more pleasing to work with, no? From Zevran. Yes.
Let's see what we have.
Who provides Zevran the resources he needs without telling the Crows, of course. I have tracked down the location of Lord Enzo and rather more of Venatori than I was expecting. Shall we say goodbye to our troublesome friends? Yes. When I heard your agents had provided distraction, I did not expect a roaring fire. The confusion, the running around in circles, all very lively, of course. And Lord Enzo and his Venatori were decidedly less lively at the end of it. My friends, I did enjoy our little adventure, and I hate to be a bother, but I believe you owe me a favor. After all, Lord Enzo was quite dead. As you may recall, the Crows and I are not in the best of terms. They were not pleased I stole their target out from under them. It means they don't get paid. They could have already taken credit for my work, but I'd already written to their employer. I earned the prize, after all. The Crows would like to speak to me, as you might imagine. They've sent me more of their number. It's time I left the Free Marches. Zevran is damn good at what he does. Just the funny thing. You are not annoying, Evo. The only thing you ever do that ever annoys me is thinking that you're being annoying. You're not. Quit it. Whap. And we'll do this one. Okay, he's done. That was it. That was Zevran. Hope you liked that. Sightings in the north... Okay. According to Dorian, it might be possible to discover who Corypheus once was. Knowing he was human can help him less attractive to Tevinter's zealots who think of him as a god. Acquiring this information, however, is more difficult than one might suppose. Such ancient information could be found in the Magisterium's Librarium in Menrathis, but the Grand Archivist has so far replied to our messages with polite misdirection. A copy of the Librarium tome that Dorian sought arrived at Skyhold along with a number of items ranging from rare manuscripts to grimoires from magisters long dead. They came with a letter from the Grand Archivist, apologizing profusely and stating his hope that his gifts will benefit the Inquisition. It may take time for Dorian to go through it, but he seems optimistic. The hole on the surface is precious sky, not our concern, but the thing that did it, if the Magister really did bring the Blight on its darkspawn, we're no friends of that. Follow these instructions, you'll catch your enemy sleeping. Tell your soldiers not to leave the main tunnel. That's your only warning. Yeah, done. Our soldiers report they passed through the tunnel without incident and surprised a sizable Venatori encampment. After the battle, they had to find a different route because the tunnel had been collapsed. You follow instructions well. Respect of our territory is our first step. Okay, cool. So here's the marching thing that she requested. Marched without incident, though I have it on good authority there were many closed-door meetings amongst the Verschale nobility. Several useful names have been given diplomatic envoys and potential future blah blah blah. Many of the nobility of the Orlesian capital have settled their secondary differences and are rallying behind two families. The Rosiers are old money, who can therefore go directly to hell. The Tybalts rose with a popular merchant consortium and are considered new money and progressive, so therefore better. While the intent of both families was to rival us politically, if we declare for one of them, we may manipulate events in our favor. Lord de Rosier has not asked for our allegiance, but may respect our rising might. Lady has spoken her investors and is interested in a forward-thinking alliance. I'll not turn my back on them, but we have established agreements with the Thibalts. I would not turn my back to them, but we have established agreements. Their initial hatred of the Inquisition was a device, and they're willing to have us in their favor. Lady, I don't know how to pronounce that, is asking for closer ties and access to trading partners as she tries to circumvent the traditional blockages of allegiances in the capital. Some houses have switched sides, others ceded holdings entirely to avoid the shame of losing all standing. More and more they are concerned with station alliance over whatever objections they stated about the Inquisition.
Inquisitor?
The Whatchafig family is becoming a clear favorite in the war of station that is ongoing between the noble houses. The Bordelons have all but ceased to exist socially, and many are scrabbling for traditional alliances. Lady Bob has emerged as a strong voice at court and is suggesting several arranged marriages to solidify ties and presumably the standing of her house. There's a contender to rival the alliance with the Bobs. The lady sent the following message. The de Rosiers are a stubborn threat. The most efficient way to deal with them is to nullify the social alliance. But the only pairing of import is unavailable because the Tybalt daughter has betrothed herself elsewhere. She has the luxury of such a wasteful pairing because of the Inquisition bearing the weight of the partnership. Our hands are tied. You face the difficult task of attacking the status of Lord de Rosier, unless you were to demand the task of the Tybalts. If their investment were more taxing, they would be more inclined to an arranged marriage for their daughter, and that is a well-respected currency in Orlais. Okay. Let's go with Liliana's thing. We received word from Lady Bob, who assumes more and more to speak for the Tybalts. She's also quick to use us and we. A bold move, Inquisitor. Lord de Rosier was mortified, if not mortally so. It is said he cannot bear to show his face, and face is all many of his generations value. I do hope he will do nothing drastic. I also hope the names behind us will remain willing to commit what is necessary to solidify the lines that have been established. We shall see. Meanwhile, they've been attacked by Darkspawn. Go.
All right.
We have saved them from the Darkspawn. We must find the source of the Darkspawn attacks. Okay, let's figure it out.
All right.
Unfortunately, they were unprepared. Oh my god. There's been a Maquis who's been mining the area in violation of local treaty, which accidentally freed the Darkspawn. Okay. The Grey Wardens have taken losses, but their morale remains high. Cool. That's cool. With her treachery revealed, the Maquis has fled into the mountains. Our initial efforts to pursue her have been hampered by both terrain and the presence of demons. While we have had difficulty making headway, the Grey Wardens have offered to assist. Look, I like killing off the Wardens as much as the next guy, but, let's do this one.
Let us begin.
She has offered her assistance in fighting the Maquis buffoon, but her forces proved to be allied with the Maquis. They turned on us in an inopportune moment. The Grey Wardens took heavy losses fighting them off. Sweet! After the bloodshed, we have located the Maquis stronghold. I regret to inform you that the Grey Wardens have suffered too many losses to be of further assistance. They are wiped out! End quest chain. Cool. That's whatever. I don't even care. They're all dead. They're all dead. Shut up, Colgrim. Per your request, after seeing that no mage named Reese was present in the conclave, I began my search. Yada, yada, yada. We're trying to find Reese and Evangeline. Sunder reference. Okay, we found them. Cool. Evangeline has been saved forever. They were low-gained. Meanwhile, a situation is unfolding in the Devaran city of Cumberland, location of the College of Magi, which until the outbreak of the Mage Rebellion was the philosophical heart of the Circles of Magi. Now mostly abandoned, has become home to a number of mage refugees, which has drawn the ire of local citizens, and mobs are threatening to assault the college and burn it to the ground, with Duke Sandril and Axis doing nothing to stop them. Inquisition agents suspect the Venatori agents are behind the mobs. Agents, evacuate. My agents were successful. Our dwarven warrior, Corbin, led a foray into the College of Magi and emerged with both the mage refugees and whatever artifacts could be transported, all before the Devaran mobs finally stormed the gates. If the Venatori were behind this, they have been disappointed, and the refugees have expressed their relief. Thank you. Deploy Reese and Evangeline. We've recovered from our wounds. We're ready to serve the Inquisition. Do that one. We're honored to serve the Inquisition. I pray you defeat Corypheus, whatever he is, soon. It's terrifying to see demons pour into the world, endangering innocent people, and as a medium, I have studied spirits as well. Yeah, you have a spirit inside of you, Evangeline. Oh, that's Reese, my bad. Excuse me. So, thanks for looking into this crap for me. Based on what you've told me, there's only one person I can think of who specifically used Bronto liquor as an insult, and also can't write worth a damn. Worthy, an acquaintance of mine from Kirkwall, though why he'd do this I have no idea. I'll give y'all drinks. Yeah, let's grab Worthy here.
Let's see what we have.
We removed the dwarf from his home in Hightown. He had another manuscript in progress, which we burned, doused in acid, and threw into the sea. Apparently he has a beef with Varric for setting up the champion of Kirkwall with another runecrafter. He ranted about better beards and true dwarves and declared himself the greatest writer in Thedas. At which point Fletcher laughed so hard she started choking. That dwarf is a menace. He also claims he didn't send a note to Skyhold. Is that it? We're caught up? We are caught up. Oh my god, okay. It's okay, that's why I have a copy of it, Evo. No, now I gotta go talk to more people. And yes, I am tired of talking to people. I have absolutely no hesitation in saying that. I've said it before, the giant swaths of talking are too much in this game. I do think it's not a good thing. Gotta go talk to Josephine, too. God damn it, Josephine, why do you exist? Why are you so awesome as to be worthy of talking to? God damn you.
I must speak with you.
What is it?
I must explain something first about the Montillier's fortunes.
I remember you said your family had been forbidden from trading in Orlais.
It's devastated our finances. The Montillier's have, in fact, been in debt for over 100 years.
Debt or no, you appear to be surviving.
That isn't enough. A disaster could wipe us out completely. For generations, we've done everything to keep creditors at bay. Sold our lands to stave off interest. It's just... it is infuriating to see my family still reduced to this. I'm to become head of our house. If I sell any more of our land, my family will become destitute. That cannot be my legacy to them.
Most people worry about their next meal, never mind an estate.
I'm not blind, but I worry for my family. My foolish sister Yvette with her daydreams. My brothers trying to rebuild our fleet with their own hands. Is it wrong to hope they never know hardship?
That's an interesting question.
Is there anything I can do?
I'd almost solved our problems. For a while. I negotiated a chance to reinstate the Montillier's as landed traders in Orlais. We could rebuild with that. But when I dispatched paperwork to Val Royeaux, I've just learned my carriers were murdered. And the documents restoring my family's trading status destroyed.
Do you have any idea who murdered them?
Leliana made inquiries that bore success. Comte Boisvert, a nobleman in Val Royeaux, claims to know who killed my messengers. He has a request. that you come when I meet him, so he's seen publicly conferring with you.
What will being seen with me gain the Comte?
The Count will drop hints at parties he's to meet with an important visitor. Allies and rivals will take note. Once he's met you, there will be speculation. The Count will subtly spin reports to his advantage. He will use us. But if he knows who killed my people, I ask that we indulge him.
Okay.
If that's what it takes to get to the bottom of this, I'll meet this Comte with you.
Thank you, Inquisitor. It means... you are too kind. I must know who killed my couriers just to harm my family.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second. Because first we gotta talk to like 700,000 people, 80 times each. There's the mystery of the Druids. Dorian. And also Liliana, but mostly Dorian.
You seem very interested in my opinions.
I should go.
Try not to die.
Okay, we got... okay, whatever. Hang on. And then we went to the hinterlands. Nope. Our home away from home. Yep, and then right back to the Guild. This kind of triggering system is also something I'm not a big fan of, by the way. Let me explain that briefly. A lot of games try to have these kind of built-in mechanics to try and progress dialogues, interactions, stuff like that. But in my experience, and I have quite a bit of experience at this point, it only works if you play the game in a very specific manner, aka the intended manner they wanted you to play. Which is fine if that's the only way to play, and if it's not, then it tends to be irritating. So, I think I am actually going to give a negative for this, because it does actually irritate me for the same reason that the goddamn go-to-camp mechanic irritated me back in Baldur's Gate 3. And yes, Evo. So did the Iron Bull one.
Wardens harm their own, and fall to mortal failings.
Where does that...
God dang it.
I hear Vashel was good pay for you, Inquisitor. Time to go see if my friends came through too. Got a location for a stash. Hopefully something nice for my trouble. Well, your trouble. Just let me know when you're ready to head out. Be sure to bring your empty pockets.
I'm ready if you are.
Always, yeah? My favorite part, this. Let's go see what friends can get us. Wait, this is weird.
What?
I was expecting a village or something. The people that leave me stuff don't trek out to places like this. Give me a city and I'll give you a tour, but surprise, surprise, I don't know stupid woods or ruins. What's that?
Don't hurt me. Harmond made me do it.
He should be pretty high approval right now, but I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you what my approval is right now, Evo, because it's not in the game.
Right. Things have gone sour, as they do.
No, it has to go right or he'll kill me for the marching. It wasn't my fault.
You were the one with the rumor out of Vashel. My friend.
You're her. You're the one he's waiting for. It's her. She's here. Red Jenny.
Okay, so, what?
Whoa, hold on. I was not aware the Inquisitor was personally involved. This is a tragic misunderstanding. Let's all sheath our swords, you walk out, and we'll conduct this like business.
Don't believe this pissbag. He started it.
I mean, that's entirely possible, Blade Traval. But I gave this negative to Baldur's Gate 3. I'm gonna give this negative to this game. You know?
There. That wasn't so hard, was it? We identified the confusion, and we worked past it. I'm Lord Pelharmond. I do hope, Inquisitor, that you continue to respond to reason. After all, your choice of company is hardly virtuous.
Freaking user, you are. Another noble prick who punches down.
We're the same, you and I. Well, that is overstating it. You are nothing like me. But we both need people.
You want to talk now, but Sarah is my ally. You attacked her friends.
Come now. You know how much her meddling cost me? Because apparently you were complicit. Honestly, previous to this very moment, I thought you'd also been tricked by these red jennies. You're of noble birth, and as Inquisitor, you are more than a peer. I attacked them on behalf of us both.
Arse biscuit.
Quiet. Inquisitor, Herald, I don't want to be your enemy. I'm barely invested in being hers. If you are willing to recognize an opportunity, we could be exceptional partners. Now what was the point of that?
Mother puss bucket, friggin' bastard, shitebag, pissface. Eat it, you lop-eared son of an arsenut,
Sarah!
rock piece of...
Sarah!
What?
I think you're done. At this point, you're making wine.
Ugh, that makes it worse. Friends, Inquisitor. Better than his lot any day. Hey, you. Know what? Thanks. Felt good to stomp the smile off that pisshead's face. It doesn't go bad like that often, yeah? But when it does, they deserve it.
Risky, but keep it within the Inquisition and I'll support you.
Even though this puckered around us?
Even so.
Well, good then. Right, what do you mean? Because I am really not used to that acceptance thing you're doing right there.
We'll have some differences, but I want to be one of your friends.
You're pretty big to be one of my contacts. Important, I mean, not fat. But all right, Inquisitor. You're on my good side. We'll see if it lasts. You have a problem. That over there is a full tavern, but everyone's drinking alone. They're all up their own arses about the Inquisition. I can't have fun with everybody whinging, and they'll fall on their swords before Corypheus can push them. I'm thinking pranks. Set a few up, knock a few down. You in or not?
I said this last time. I hate pranks. So, you know.
I don't understand how annoying my people will help.
Look, you have experts for everything. And I know a bunch of tight-ass people when I see them. Oh, sure, they'll complain. But they'll really mean, thank you for distracting me from the end of the stupid world. Come on!
Lead the way.
What, really?
Really?
I knew you were different. Let's go.
Again, I would never do this quest if it wasn't a video game. You know what I mean? Just, really?
Right, general appetite is gone. Have a search about. Find something to mess with, and give your soldiers a laugh. What, the desk? Oh, yes. Center of the Empire and all that. What to do, what to
do.
All right, Sarah. What do you want to do?
Thing looks heavy. Don't want to move or break it. I got it. Easy one. Just a slip of something under here. There, won't notice much, but it's just that little bit wonky. He's so in control that'll piss him royally. I tell one of the soldiers and boom! The general seems like people. And since he works for you, you seem like people. Come on, next one! Right, little lady prissy pants. Have a look for something she likes too much. What, just the door? Where she greets every important idiot. Yes!
Well, Sarah, what do you have in mind?
Get a bucket.
Oh, come on. Really?
Classic, yeah? 5 minutes of sloppy boss gets you weeks of happy kitchen staff. Except for the one who cleans it up, I suppose. But whatever. Next stop. What's that? A locked... No, leave that. Not interested in her hidden things. Not for just a bit of fun. Maybe... feed her messengers something gassy? No, birds don't pop. But they flap and...
Who is up there?
Go!
That was fun. An inquisitor of the people, still remembering you're one of them. If all they got was the herald stuff, the serious bit, you'd start to sound pretty scary. That works, but not for long.
Whatever it takes. I'd start throwing pies if it kept people inspired.
Pies is so good, and Coryphanus would never do that. Good thing for you, innit? Because from the bottom, everyone up top sort of seems the same. Anyway, fun time, Inquisitor. You! Oh, frig. You did it!
Sorry, Josephine. Yeah, I like that too, Blade Duval. Sarah isn't stupid, she's just Sarah. As an aside, I love how she consistently mispronounces Corypheus' name. Have you noticed that?
Back, yeah? Always good.
I'm interested in you.
Is your network of contacts still active after what happened?
After Lord Arsehole and Vishal? Of course. He may have killed people, but that just means there's more who hate him. It's crap that he killed people, though. They were just trying to stand up a little.
We annoyed some nobles. Does that really help all that much?
It helped make a dead idiot. That's good return for time. I don't get what's so hard to understand. Your stuff works the same. Your Inquisition, I mean. Punch a bully, people like you. Do it because they asked, or let them think they asked. They like it even more. It's inspiring, even if it sometimes goes tits up and they take a hit back. You know, like Haven.
Yeah, okay.
I get it, kind of. We just don't think of what you do as that kind of inspiration.
Well, we should take a good hard look at where our people come from. All the same people. At least my baddies are understandable. No kicking in the sky there.
We'll talk another time.
It's all good, innit? There's you, yes?
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
I know Sarah's a very contentious character. But, again, the problem here is I really cannot give her a story negative. She's just way too well written and acted. Like, see this right here? This is me following her advice.
Gloat all you like. I have this one.
Are you sassing me, Commander? I didn't know you had it in you.
Why do I even... Inquisitor.
Leaving, are you? Does this mean I win?
Are you two playing nice?
I'm always nice. You need to come to terms with my inevitable victory. You'll feel much better.
Really? Because I just won, and I feel fine.
Don't get smug. There will be no living with you.
I should return to my duties as well. Unless you would care for a game.
That's true, Arcana, which is why it makes perfect sense to me why people don't like her. Because she irritates them. She just doesn't irritate me. So I can't agree with that particular perspective. Or, agree's the wrong word. You get my point. Now, she has absolutely no reason to be a part of the party, which I've explained several times. But, whatever.
Prepare the board, Commander.
As a child, I played this with my sister. She would get this stuck-up grin whenever she won, which was all the time. My brother and I practiced together for weeks. Oh, the look on her face the day I finally won. Between serving the Templars and the Inquisition, I haven't seen them in years. I wonder if she still plays.
You have siblings?
2 sisters and a brother.
Where are they now?
They moved to South Reach after the Blight. I do not write to them as often as I should. Oh, it's my turn.
All right, let's see what you've got.
This may be the longest we've gone without discussing the Inquisition, or related matters. To be honest, I appreciate the distraction.
You can't be serious all the time. Well, maybe you can.
I believe this one is yours. Well played. Yes?
That's all for now.
Should you require anything, I'll be here.
Varric's kind of a weird one, but Varric makes sense in how little sense he makes, is how I want to phrase that. Varric makes more sense when you realize that he wasn't supposed to be here, and also wasn't even supposed to be in this game.
I appreciate the warning, but you shouldn't have come yourself. What if the guild found out, or what's his name?
Are you worrying for me or for yourself?
A little of column A, a little of column B. I am the expendable one.
Hi, Bianca.
Oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. We'll just have to... Well, this is a surprise. You're the Inquisitor, right? Bianca Davry, at your service.
Which, of course, means very little to us.
Your name is Bianca?
It's a common name. Half the girls in the Merchants Guild are named Bianca. The other half are named Helga. I lucked out.
I take it you're a friend of Varric's.
Who isn't a friend of Varric's? You have met him before, right?
Why do you both look like cats that got into the cream?
She's taken a huge risk coming here herself. Maybe for both of us.
You're such a worrier. There's a giant hole in the sky. I think the Merchants Guild has bigger things to think about.
Bianca's got a lead on where Corypheus got his red lyrium.
The site of Bartrand's Folly, the tag Varric found, has been leaked. There's a Deep Roads entrance crawling with strange humans carting out red lyrium by the handful.
Yeah, no, that's Laura Bailey, who's also a very common voice actress.
How do we know they're not using multiple entrances to get to the tag?
Navigating the Deep Roads isn't like the surface. There's no accurate maps of the whole system, and there are cave-ins, darkspawn, lava floods. If you find a route that gets where you're going, you don't deviate. Trying to find another way could be deadly.
Who could have given away the Tig's location?
There were a few people who knew. Hirelings from the expedition, a couple of close friends.
How they found out isn't important. What matters is we know where they are now.
Oh yeah, this is a good time to mention. They called that Tig Bartrand's Folly. They don't even emphasize that. It's just there in the background. I love that.
If it's such a secret, how do you know about it, Bianca?
I told her. Right after the expedition, I wrote and told Bianca what we found. I had artifacts that needed buyers, and she had more contacts that would pay for them. Plus, I owed her.
You can get there from Orlais? It's a long way to the free marches.
The deep roads are all connected. Or they used to be. Collapses and such. Some of them on purpose.
They really are roads. They spanned the Dwarven Empire, went to every corner of the continent, maybe further. In theory, you can get to any Tig using the deep roads, but in practice, there's a reason nobody uses them anymore.
We need to deal with this. As long as he has this source, Corypheus is that much more powerful.
I couldn't agree more.
I'll keep an eye on their operation. If you're interested in shutting it down, you've got my help. Try not to leave me waiting too long, Varric. I've got my own work to do, you know.
Right. That's not going to be trouble at all. Let me know when you want to head to the entrance.
I've never heard of someone who dislikes Laura Bailey before, but, you know.
Need something?
No offense, it's just, I've never heard that one before.
About that lead of yours, Varric.
Sure. The sooner we take care of it, the better.
Do you think this lead of hers is real?
Bianca's too much of a researcher to pass me information without verifying it first. But if you're asking whether she'd lie to us, maybe set us up, it's possible. Not likely, though. She risked the wrath of the Guild coming in person. A message would have sufficed. Whatever she found in that entrance shook her up. That worries me.
Carry on.
You know what? I can actually see that, Crofty. Not quite, Eternus. We've had some good moments, but... right now, and for the last several hours, we've been running around talking to people. There's a reason Mega Man is right up over there. Side. Or was? Oh god, what happened to Mega Man? Well, Mega Man's dead. That sucks. Where were we? Nope. 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 There we are. Hey, I found us. But I figured out what was going on here. So let me just fix that little problem really quick. Look, Mega Man's more important than Dragon Age. That's all I'm saying. There we go. Okay.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
These are new.
I need to know more about Corypheus.
We've taken his army. He lacks the conventional form.
Blah,
He
blah,
must see
blah.
or lay
Study
destroyed utterly by whatever.
Well,
of course. What do you need?
Tell me something. Do you care about anything in the world beyond the Fade? Ah?
The Inquisitor turns his hawk-like gaze to me, penetrating deep into my most secret desires. Only not. I care deeply for many things beyond the Fade, just not you.
I'm sorry. What? Apparently, we have massive disapproval here. I'm not sure what to do about this. How did I even get this low disapproval? Like, it's okay, whatever. Okay. Sure. I mean, yeah, we tranquiled someone, but that's like the only disapproval we ever got for him. I guess there's the Wardens thing. Wardens are negative 25. Man, I wish the game told me that. That would be great. Whatever.
If the Inquisition is going to succeed, I need everyone's support.
No. You need everyone's obedience.
Dude!
I disagree. I'd like us to reach a better place.
Then do something worth respecting, Inquisitor.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's see. Defeating the Nightmare Demon in his own realm. Does that count? No, okay. How about killing like 10 different dragons?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
One of which I did by myself. Oh yeah, by the way.
Are you ever concerned that you've turned your back on your people?
I have done no such thing. I simply see no way to help the elves, oppressed as they are now.
You could teach them what you've learned. You could give them the tools to help themselves.
How many would listen? Most of the poor and oppressed do not want to work to improve their condition. They want only comfort, an affirmation that they are good for being poor and oppressed. I might reach a few at most, but you are right. That is more than I reach doing nothing. I suppose I'm just tired of fighting.
What do you mean you're tired of fighting? Fighting what?
Did you think I honed my magical skills to impress spirits? I have joined my share of causes, but when I offered lessons learned in the Fade, I was derided by my enemies, and sometimes by my allies. Liar, fool, madman. There are endless ways to say someone isn't worth listening to. Over time, it grinds away at you.
Yeah, we could call you Soulless from now on, and that way we could just use that as a... I don't know,
That's when you should lean on your friends.
Apologies, Inquisitor. I have learned not to do that.
Well. Okay. Oh, you notice the name of the quest we've got right now? I should be cautious.
Greetings.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Cool. I guess that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that cutscene. That's Soulless. Whee. Congratulations, Valerian. You're a genocidal maniac.
The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
I should go.
Try not to.
Here is the request Harriet made. I will see he gets it.
I mean, I didn't do it deliberately, Evo, if that makes any sense.
I received a note from the hero of Ferelden. He misses me. I very much needed to know he was still out there fighting to be with me. Thank you. It is a great relief, and I appreciate you allowing me to send the messenger. Now, can I help you with anything?
Nope.
I'll leave you to your work.
Alright. Who did you want me to talk to, Evo? I'm sorry, I'm just... Did I? Oh, right. I know who that is.
That's why. From Haven's fire come we, the able true, who skyhold now a fortress strong and free. We rally with...
He was their enemy the whole time, but she made him forget, so he could change.
So I found you some.
I found the amulet that Solus told us about. Would you like to try it on?
Yes, but not here. I like it here. We need some place that can go away if it becomes sharp. What do I do with it?
You found one of the amulets. Excellent. May I? It is simple enough. You put it on, I charge it with magic, and you should be protected.
Are you ready, Cole?
They can't make me a monster.
Ah! What was that? Oh, what are you doing to the kid?
stopping blood mages from binding me like the demons at Adamant. But it didn't work.
Something is interfering with the enchantment.
Something like Cole not being a demon?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely some droid effect that's been going on here by this point. What? Hold up. God damn it. I lost the game. There we go.
Solus, is it possible that the amulet doesn't work on Cole because he's too...
We just lost approval with Solus.
Regardless of Cole's special circumstances, he remains a spirit.
Yes, a spirit who is strangely like a person.
I don't matter. Just lock away the parts of me that someone else could knot together to make me follow.
Focus on the amulet. Tell me what you feel.
Warm, soft blanket covering, but it catches tears. I'm the wrong shape. There's something. There. That way.
Okay. Hang on, I'm fighting Crash Man right now. You gotta wait a second, Cole. Just give me a second, Cole. Just give me a second.
We'll find whatever is preventing the amulet from working, and we'll make it right.
All right, kid. Get Cullen and work with him on the map to figure out where you're sensing something wrong.
I know, it's in the hinterlands. That's the best part.
All of you?
Sure. All right, I get it. You like spirits. But he came into this world to be a person. Let him be one.
No, Solus is right, because I need rep with Solus.
Cole is a demon, or a spirit. He has magical abilities and magical vulnerabilities. We cannot ignore that.
Fair enough. But that ritual of theirs only works on demons, right?
This is not some fanciful story, child of the stone. We cannot change our nature by wishing.
You don't think?
However we deal with the problem, our next step is to track down whatever is interfering
Yeah,
with
Solus is against change. Lore shock. As the saying goes. Oh, yep. Is it just gonna warp me there? That's actually funny.
Yeah, this should get me through the month. Give me a moment. Greetings. Can I help you?
You killed me.
What? I don't even know you.
You forgot. You locked me in the dungeon in the Spire, and you forgot, and I died in the dark.
The Spire?
Cole, stop.
Just take it easy, kid.
He killed me. He killed me. That's why it doesn't work. He killed me, and I have to kill him back.
If he killed you, wouldn't you be dead?
Cole, this man cannot have killed you. You are a spirit. You have not even possessed a body.
A broken body, bloody, banged on the stone cell, guts gripping in the dark, dank. A captured apostate. They threw him into the dungeon in the Spire at Valroyo. They forgot about him. He starved to death. I came through to help. And I couldn't. So I became him. Cole.
If Cole was an apostate, that'd make the guy we just saw a Templar. Must have been buying lyrium.
Let me kill him. I need to.
Thoughts?
Solus?
We cannot let Cole kill the man.
I don't think anyone was going to suggest that, Chuckles.
Cole is a spirit. The death of the real Cole wounded him, perverted him from his purpose. To regain that part of himself, he must forgive.
Come on. You don't just forgive someone killing you.
You don't. A spirit can.
Varric?
The kid's angry. He needs to work through it.
A spirit does not work through emotions. It embodies them.
But he isn't a spirit, is he? He made himself human. And humans change. They get hurt. And they heal. He needs to work it out like a person.
You would alter the essence of what he is.
He did that to himself when he left the Fade. I'm just helping him survive it.
Droid effect is a common concept in fiction, so named for droids from Star Wars. It involves an entity that is not a sentient, sapient entity that develops sentience and sapience. For proper droid effect to occur, there needs to be three things. One, they need to have the sufficient capacity and in order to develop sentience and sapience. In short, they have to be of sufficient complexity and intelligence. Two, they require sufficient time to actually develop the aforementioned sentience. And three, they require the external stimuli necessary to be able to form into a fully fleshed out entity. And yes, I actually coined the term droid effect. So, obviously I prefer Cole becoming a person. Duh. But we did that last time.
Cole needs to let this go.
I believe I can help. Cole, come with me.
That's the reason, by the way. We did the other one last time.
Not possible. Not possible.
Can you feel this man's pain, Cole?
He remembers now. He knows he killed me.
No. Feel his pain. His guilt. The shame that drove him from the Templars.
Don't worry, we'll erase his records. They clap me on the shoulder, smell of oiled metal and blood. They smile like Louis did when he made me drown the kittens. Laughter bounces off the walls like a thin child's fist.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's hurting, Cole. And you are a spirit of compassion.
Forget.
I believe we are finished here.
You all right, kid?
Yes. He's free. We're both free.
I do like how both options here are quite valid and both good options. It's kind of rare you see that in any game.
Appears to be working. Cole should be adequately protected.
Have you talked to him since? Have you heard what he sounds like?
He sounds like a spirit.
Nonsense words, like Bertrand at the end. Just need to hear the song again, just for a minute. I'm all right, Varric.
What matters is his happiness. Cole, how are you feeling?
I am well. There is work. Wounded to help, hurts to heal, but the weight is off. The old chains have fallen.
You're not still angry with the man who hurt you?
No, I helped him forget. His pain no longer pulls at me. A woman with two names slips a knife in darkness to her left hand. Honey stirred into Leliana's wine. Faith, not revenge.
Could have been a person.
Possibly. Would that have made him happier, Child of the Stone?
Go to hell, Solus. And rot there. Forever. Don't worry. In Dragon Age 4, you'll be the boss of the first act. Sorry, I'll shut up. If it makes you feel any better, I have jotted down 2 positives for that sequence. Or, I shouldn't have said that. 50 negatives. 50 negatives. All the negatives. Hey, Vivienne.
My dear, did you need me for something?
Nope. See, I actually disagree with that, RRC. If I might be so bold, a spirit is, by definition, not a person. Same with demons. But, does Dragon Age 4 come out today? No, it does not. I have no idea how the hell I have so much rep with Vivienne. It's already happened, Evo. Who are you?
Inquisitor, if you're looking for the commander, he's gone to speak with Seeker Pentagast.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question, Sub-Zero. I would say the distinction is sufficiently relevant as to be worthy of note. But it's also worthy of note that they are both still entities that follow the same general rules.
It's always wonderful to speak with you.
Goodbye.
That's enough for now.
We shall speak again soon.
That's something I don't even want to talk about, RRC. You might as well ask me to define... well, sentience and sapience. C-3PO is a person, though.
You asked for my opinion, and I've
droid.
given it. Why would you expect it to change?
I expect you to keep your word. It's relentless. I can't...
You give yourself too little credit.
If I'm unable to fulfill what vows I kept, then nothing good has come of this. Would you rather save face than admit... We will speak of this later.
And people say I'm stubborn. This is ridiculous. Cullen told you that he's no longer taking lyrium?
Yes. He trusted your judgment on the matter.
He was not interested in my judgment today. Cullen has asked that I recommend a replacement for him. I refused. It's not necessary. Besides, it would destroy him. He's come so far.
Why didn't he come to me?
We had an agreement long before you joined us. As a Seeker, I could evaluate the dangers.
Is there anything we can do to change his mind?
If anyone could, it's you. Mages have made their suffering known, but Templars never have. They are bound to the Order, mind and soul, with someone always holding their lyrium leash. Cullen has a chance to break that leash, to prove to himself, and anyone who would follow suit, that it's possible. He can do this. I knew that when we met in Kirkwall. Talk to him. Decide if now is the time.
We haven't done Solus's personal quest, and we may never. Not on purpose, just because he hates my guts. Which is funny, because, you know, feelings mutual.
How many have trained here, I wonder?
And we're kind of in the middle of doing Cullen's personal quest. We did Liliana's, we're in the middle of doing Varric's. I guess we haven't done Blackwall's, but his doesn't open up yet. His opens up later. Sarah's done. Yeah, we finished hers. God, I don't know. Alright, Cullen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, we'll see you, Wandering Doll. I might need to say the wrong things in order to get some rep with him.
Maker's breath. I didn't hear you enter. Forgive me.
Cullen, if you need to talk.
You don't have to.
That's not what I said. I didn't say if you want to talk. I said talk to me.
This to interfere.
I believe you.
But whatever good it does, promises me nothing if I cannot keep them. You asked what happened to Ferelden's Circle. It was taken over by abominations. The Templars, my friends, were slaughtered. I was tortured. They tried to break my mind, and I... How can you be the same person after that? Still, I wanted to serve. They sent me to Kirkwall. I trusted my Knight Commander, and for what? Her fear of mages ended in madness. Kirkwall's Circle fell. Innocent people died in the streets. Can't you see why I want nothing to do with that life?
Of course I can.
Don't. You should be questioning what I've done. I thought this would be better. That I would regain some control over my life, but these thoughts won't leave me. How many lives depend on our success? I swore myself to this cause. I will not give less to the Inquisition than I did to Chantry. I should be taking it. I should be taking it.
You give enough, Cullen. I'm not asking you for more. The Inquisition can be your chance to start over. If you want it to be.
I don't know if that's possible.
It is.
All right.
Bad depth of field.
I need a moment. Could we speak another time?
Blackwell's doesn't trigger yet, right? Vivienne's is later. I know Liliana's is later. Tolus's is later. Sure.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor?
Nope.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
It's a good damn scene, Papa Neeks. That's why it's a negative to everything. If Iron Bull has a quest, I haven't seen it, although I noticed there is a quest in here right now.
It's just what I heard.
Wardens harm their own and fall to
For the Iron Bull.
Ah, come on, Krim. I'm working my ass off trying to get you to see that move.
You still got plenty of arse left, Chief. Your worship.
Glad you came by. I got a letter from my contacts in the Ben Hasrath. Already verified it with Red.
You want to discuss this alone?
Not like I was hiding it from my boys. Besides, right now, I need to hit something.
You know they've got training dummies, Chief.
The training dummy might actually defend itself against the shield bash. Anyway, the Ben Hasrath letter.
Perfect. This actually sucks because it's dinner time and it's cut off stream time. It's okay, I can save in mid-conversation, right? Right?
What did the letter say?
The Ben Hasrath have been reading my reports. They don't like Corypheus or his Venatori. And they really don't like Red Lyrium. They're ready to work with us. With you, boss. The Qunari and the Inquisition, joining forces.
Okay, let's work with the enemy.
That could be a powerful alliance.
My people have never made a full-blown alliance with a foreign power before. This would be a big step. They found a massive red lyrium shipping operation out on the coast.
They wanted us to hit it together. Talked about bringing in one of their dreadnoughts. Always wanted to see one of those big warships in action.
Did you see that? Go get some water. They're worried about tipping the smugglers, so no army. My chargers, you, maybe some backup.
Okay, let's go.
I think the Inquisition could use some help from the Canary.
Good. I'll pass on word to Cullen and Red. We can set up the meeting whenever you're ready.
And we're done.